Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Sorry for the last night. Sorry.
No problem.
Actually, some of the students have problems.
Oh,
So we will not keep in the morning. This is only once. If they would have informed earlier, then I would not have done. Sorry.
so this I just read the case study. So just have one question is when we only the based on the case studies, or we have to go deep on the lithium business also.
Whatever I said is more than enough.
More than enough, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Because otherwise, the research of the industry is there is no limit.
There is no
To
limit.
go on researching, you will find very disturbed because we are the finance person.
Okay.
We don't know so manufacturing part, engineering type of thing. A basic understanding is required. That I have covered. That is more than enough. No further study required. Because
So
even though you go deep, you will not be able to get the full information because unless and until you go there, lithium is producing in front of you, then the feeling will be different. Just by looking at the videos and write-ups, it will be having limited knowledge only.
that whatever the
Yes.
case study and your analysis, that is enough, right?
Yes, sir, sure.
Okay. Because I was checking in the Wikipedia when I was searching it, I'm getting mad only.
You should not be.
Uh-huh.
Even when I do research, then I found difficulties whenever there are technical stuff, which is not relating to accounting, finance, but more and more related to, I will say, production process, method, this, that, maybe looking at the videos and all that, but not getting 100% clarity. So
Yeah.
it is better that we don't go there because that will not be required in the exam also.
Okay. Got it.
Yes, sir.
So that is it. Just I was researching,
Ah,
reading it, and it was going in deep of technical.
yes.
So that's the reason. Just
Whatever technical is required that I shared, and maybe if some other things are required, very less that I will share. Even when the institute has shared the materials, they have not written that much, which we research have already done.
Okay.
So they are not writing that much.
Okay. And one more thing is that you told that you will share the ratio.
Yes, because I got it materials from the institute in Kaplan yesterday 6:30 around. So I didn't get time. I will give today only by afternoon.
Okay.
2 o'clock.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Then
Thank you, sir.
look into that this one.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
1:30 a.m. in Ghana. Good, sir.
Good morning, sir. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
It's too early in the Ghana. But
Yes.
no problem.
Normally, when I'm taking the management case study class, then so many students are there from UK and Ireland, 5, 6 students. But they are doing the class because when we are taking the class at 7 a.m., at their place, it is around, what I should say, 5.5 hours less. So मोटा मोटी 1:30 सेम. घाना और यूके पास पास है क्या?
जी पास में है.
हाँ वही. So they are near, they are doing the classes. It's not every day. And I will not keep the class in the morning. This is my first and last, sir. Because some of
No problem, sir.
yeah.
पढ़ना है तो करना पड़ेगा ना.
Some of the students complain that we will not be able to attend. Somebody is from Hong Kong. They have 2.5 hours later. So it's 7 means 9:30. So he is already going to office. So he's saying that I cannot attend. Because as per schedule, we don't have morning session. Na?
Yes.
Yes. Sorry, भाई. But मेरे को लगा थोड़ा बहुत डिस्कस कर लेते हैं pre-scene so that we start preparing based on pre-scene, different questions, practice. First of all, we will discuss the core area, I mean to say mock D, some part, not every part we need to discuss. And then we will discuss the basics of the pre-scene. Based on pre-scene, what type of question can come in exam in different areas, even though there is no surety, because they can create any story in the exam. But just by looking at the pre-scene, the financials, their business, then what are the opportunities, the threats, we can discuss that what type of thing they can give. So at least that much discussion I want, so that we can start preparing based on the pre-scene core area A, B, C, D, E, different areas and the mock papers. So I think let's start now.
Hi, good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Sir, in the yesterday's mail, I was not able to find my attachment of the review of the mock paper.
Sorry, I think I missed. I will check today and share, sir.
Yeah, sure, sir.
Because actually when I'm sending the mail, suppose I'm sending mock D questions. So when the student are mailing, if they are replying against that mail only, I can see all.
Okay.
Maybe you have separately mailed, so may chhoot gaya. Sorry, yaar. I will do today and share by afternoon. Huh?
Yes, sir. Sure.
Yeah. Sorry, bhai. Basically, I am discussing in this the second and the third question, because the first one is normal. Why we want to close the operations at a particular site. But then the second and third, since the performance mainly in the second one was not good, and which involves, I will say, application of this in the current case study also. So for that reason, this need to be discussed properly. So task 2. It is now 2 days later, you receive the following email to the senior finance manager, which we are in the exam, from the CEO, Argland. You have probably heard that the board decided recently that Safewell should terminate its operations in Argland. And we are now drawing up a withdrawal plan. I have received the following email from the head office of Safewell operating for Argland. Head of Safewell operations for Argland, which makes for interesting reading. I attach it for your reference. I have received the following email from the head of Safe Well Operations for Argland, which makes for interesting reading. I attach it for your reference. I will need to put this forward for a discussion at the next board meeting and would like your assistance with a couple of matters. Firstly, if we decide to proceed with a management buyout of the Argland operations, how might a reasonable price be determined? Identify and evaluate the difficulties that Safewell would face in valuing its Argland operations and recommend responses to those difficulties, stating reasons. So there are many parts in the question. We need, firstly, if we decide to proceed with management buyout, because in the letter that is written of the Argland operations, how might a reasonable price be determined? For going with management buyout in Argland operations selling, what will be the value? What will be the value of the Argland operations? Identify and evaluate the difficulties that Safewell would face in valuing its Argland operations. While valuing the company for sale to MBO, what are the difficulties we are going to face and how we are going to deal with them? Identify and evaluate the difficulties that Safewell would face in valuing its Argland operations and recommend responses to those difficulties, stating reasons. Recommend responses to those, but that means if you mention just the problems, but you are not mentioning how that can be resolved, then marks will be less. So how the valuation will be done? In doing the valuation for selling to MBO, what are the problems we are going to face? How those problems are going to affect our selling operations? How those problems can be managed? How we are going to deal with those problems? That need to be written. Secondly, evaluate the potential currency risk that Safewell would face if it accepted the proposal to pay for the Argland operations over 10 years. Evaluate the potential currency risk, specifically asking currency risk that Safewell would face if it accepted the proposal to pay for the Argland operations over 10 years and recommend ways in which such risk might be mitigated. Risk also, currency risk, and then those currency risk, how we are going to manage. The first part is more lengthier, 60%, and the second part is 40%. The reference material email from head of the operations Argland to the CEO, from the head of the operations Argland, expression of interest in the management buyout. It has come to my attention that Safewell has decided to withdraw from Argland and terminate its operations in this country. Naturally, I and my colleague are very disappointed at such a decision, as we have always felt that we benefit from being part of the Safewell group. However, sometimes opportunities arise in the face of adversity, and I am wondering if this might be just such an instance. I have held a discussion with my fellow managers and we would like to make an approach to purchase the Argland operations from Safewell Group via a management buyout. This would mean taking on all the current contracts with Argland clients and guaranteeing the continued employment of the 2,500 employees who currently work for Safewell in this country. I believe that we should be able to negotiate a value that is agreeable to both parties. I believe that we should be able to negotiate a value that is agreeable to both parties. However, given the financial circumstances in Argland at present, it is extremely unlikely that we would be able to raise the debt required to fund such an acquisition. The managers do not have sufficient personal wealth themselves, and so we would propose paying the agreed consideration to Safewell over a 10-year period from profit earned from Argland operations. I hope you will see this proposal as mutually beneficial. I look forward to hearing your thoughts. So it's a good proposal, but any proposal in selling any asset always creates problem. So that way, we need to think from the company's point of view, Safewell. There are two types of questions comes in exam. One, we are acquiring another company, and one, we are disposing our some of the operations. The previous question paper, which was mock E, was acquiring another company. And this paper is about disposing our operations. Even the case study which is relevant for November exam, both the story is relevant. Because to grow our operations, we will acquire some other company or a bigger company, which is given in the example. They will be acquiring us, something like that. Definitely some questions will be, some case study will be based on those scenarios. They have said that we have political uncertainty. Problems are there in the two places where we are producing lithium. So maybe we want to dispose of those operations. Whether we will dispose or not, whether we should be doing that or not, but this direct feeling is coming. Like here, they have not given in this pre-seen material that they can close their operation, but they have created something. But in the case study, which is relevant for November, already that feeling is there that the two places where we are doing our operations, we are facing huge political uncertainties, problems. So maybe we will close our operations in those areas. We need to understand that these two are of the same part of the thing. When you take over an organization, you need to pay the price, the valuation required. And when you sell any part of the business, you need to get the price and the valuation is required. Regarding valuation, we consider market, we consider buyers, sellers, we consider the financial conditions and everything that we will be writing along with the information which is given. But thoda sa we need to become technical. Technical in the sense, what are broadly the methods for valuation? Whether it's a takeover, whether it's a disposal. What are the methods for valuation? So broadly, if you refer any book, any write-up, whether it's a Google, Chat GPT, whether referring the CIMA material anywhere, there are broadly three methods for valuation: asset-based, earning-based, cash flow-based. Asset-based method has advantage, disadvantage. Earning-based method has advantage, disadvantage. And cash flow-based method has advantage, disadvantage. Because if any particular method has only advantage, then why not all the books or everywhere we will follow that only. The asset-based method, disadvantages are, in any of the organization of the world, the assets are not fully mentioned in the balance sheet. If you go in Saraf Academy also, assets are not fully mentioned. If you talk of Reliance or anybody, the assets are not fully mentioned. There are many intangible assets for which we cannot record in the books as per the accounting norm. Suppose goodwill. If the goodwill is not for which you have paid the consideration, it's a self-generated goodwill. You can't record in the financials. Many intangible assets for which you cannot identify the cost, which is self-generated. You cannot identify the value. And just by valuing from somebody, you cannot record in the books. The accounting doesn't allow that. IFRS, Indian accounting, any accounting. So when we do the valuation based on assets, the assets we take only which are there in the balance sheet. That value is also not logical. Maybe the company follow revalue model for some of the assets, but the revaluation is not done every year. There is no fixed frequency decided for revaluation. So maybe the assets are at historical value, maybe they are at revalued figure, but they are not representing the true worth at present. And there are many assets which are not there in the balance sheet, but when the buying and selling of a business question comes, then the value need to be associated for those assets also. I'm not saying that the valuation is impossible. With that valuation of any intangible asset can be done, like we have done from our graduation. Forget about CA, CIMA and all that. That goodwill can be valued based on extra earning capacity. Whatever the earning extra as compared to others, then that extra earning multiplied by some number of years or maybe divided by a capitalization rate can give you the goodwill. For any other intangible asset for which we have self-generated, we can identify the value based on the market factors. And in your syllabus content also, they have set the CIB's value method. That is what the operating income we are generating, what operating income we should be generating, the extra we are generating, that operating profit capitalized can give you the value of intangible assets or goodwill like that. So we are not questioning that we cannot value the assets which are not in the balance sheet. But always the valuation is subjective. Even for the assets, finding out the value, whether based on cash flow, whether based on market price, is always a question mark. We always say that when we go with the valuation based on assets, normally that is the minimum value. If you are buying any business, minimum utna to dena hi hoega. If you are selling any business, you should be getting minimum that much. You will say why? Because with the assets, we are not getting what are the earnings we are going to get in future, what are the cash flows, and ultimately the assets value depends upon that only. Whether you will take for the assets replacement value, realizable value. If you are selling a business or buying a business as a going concern, then in that case you should be taking replacement value. Because if you don't buy the business, you will be buying the same assets. If you don't sell the business to the other party, they will be buying the same assets. Going concern, if you are buying and selling business, replacement value of the assets are relevant. But if the business is sold out as a liquidation, sale karna hai, then realizable value will be more relevant. Because if you buy any business and they are selling it, they can sell the assets individually. So whatever the realizable value, you need to pay them. If you are selling your business, then you need to get the realizable value. If you don't want to sell to them, you can sell piecemeal basis all the assets. So whether you will be taking realizable value, replacement value, whether value based on cash flows, those assets which are not there in the financials, determining their value, we are saying that it's a whole lot of information required. And those information are not freely available, neither in SafeWell, neither in lithium also. Those information are not available like this that we can collect. We need to go into detail, and we can say that based on the assets, at least we are getting minimum value. Come se come, suppose you are following realizable value. You cannot sell a business less than the realizable value. Or if you are buying some company as a liquidation, they are selling the assets. You cannot pay them less than the assets value. Why they will sell to you? They can sell in the market or those individual assets. But selling the entire business, you will get money in one go. And piecemeal selling will take time. You need to negotiate with the different persons. Those problem arises. Normally, we say that the asset-based method will always be giving you the minimum value. And the asset-based method or any other method we need to apply when the business which we are acquiring or the portion which we are selling are not a listed organization. आज सराफ एकेडमी को हम लोग सेल करते हैं, बाई करते हैं, कहां से वैल्यू लाएंगे? One of the prominent method is assets, because at least we can see in the balance sheet, physically check the assets, whether they are or not. If a listed company, Reliance, ITC, any company, at least we can start some valuation based on the market value. Maybe based on market value are speculative, gone up, gone down, different factors. But at least the starting point can be there. But those which are not a listed business, the starting point is asset-based method only. Ki bhaiya kam se kam minimum value, what will be the value for the assets? In that you need to value intangible assets which are not in the financials. You need to take into incorporation realizable value, replacement value, what method you will be following. And that can be said as the minimum value for a company. Whether you are buying, whether you are selling, doesn't matter. The second method is earning-based method, because the assets value depends upon the earnings. So whatever the earnings company generating or will be generating, because whatever they are already generating cannot give the proper value. What they will be able to generate will be able to give you proper value. So adjustment in the current earnings are required. After the demerger, after the merger, whatever is the case, आपको टेक ओवर करना है तो मर्जर होने के बाद synergistic benefits will be there, the earnings will go up. Demerger होने के बाद they will be standalone. So in that case, whether they will be able to function at that level or not, the earnings need to be adjusted. And those earnings multiplied by a price earning multiple, that what should be the price based on the earnings. Now, if the companies are not listed, we will go in the market. Who are the listed companies in the same industry? We will be taking their price earning ratio average, industry average. We will adjust the price earning ratio based on our features of the company. And then we multiply with the earnings, which is going to be expected. We get the value. It's a good method because it is whatever the assets value, whatever the business value should be based on earnings. But the problems are already inherent. forecasting the earnings based on past, forecast future, what are the changes, like whatever situation they have given here, that then later on MBO will be separate. They are getting so much support from the head office, from this safe well. Now they need to operate individually. Individual operations, they need to have changes in the system. They will not be getting the support. What are the additional expenditures they need to incur? What will be some saving in the expenditures they will save? That needs to be forecasted. That's not easy. And how we will take P ratio, because that's a bad market where the industry, the political uncertainties, the problems are there. So maybe in the industry there is a P ratio, whether we should take global P ratio, international market, whether in that market adjustment in the P ratio will be a factor. We need to check how we will be able to do that. And based on that, the valuation can be determined. In earnings method, there is a problem of window dressing, because earnings is purely based on accounting data. And accounting is always window dressing. Whatever IFRS and IAS are there, changing the accounting policy for a depreciation, for assets valuation, for inventory valuation, for revenue recognition, for whatever we can adjust. And those earnings adjustments will be done by the buyer in a different way, by the seller in a different way. The person those who are selling, they want more. Those who are buying, they want less. They want to pay less. So the problems will be there. A justified discussion need to be happening for the adjustment in the earnings. We can say that on earnings-based method, we can find out two values from the buyer point of view, from the seller point of view. Maybe in the assets that we don't calculate, but in case of earnings method, we can do that by doing different adjustment and then sit together to resolve the issue. What can be the price which can be based on earnings method? The third is cash flow method, which according to technical terms is the best method, because it is not, I mean to say, window dressed by earnings, window dressed by accounting policy, because paisa is paisa, cash is cash. But it is forecasting the cash flow. From the business, what will be the cash flow? And forecasting again involve estimation based on the past revenue, based on the past outflow of cash, what will be the future cash flow, and how many years you will forecast. After 3-4 years, you need to assume that there is a growth rate will be happening. So forecasting of cash flow is always a problem. Then they need to find out present value by a discount rate. For the business, what should be the discount rate? Maybe the existing discount rate, maybe the new discount rate based on the changes in the risk, the debt equity proportion. So many factors are again there. Forecasting cash flow and adjustments of the discount rate is a big challenge. But then, since it is not affected by accounting principles, policies, window dressing, it is based on cash and free cash flow. Those free cash flow, we are saying that if suppose from Saraf Academy, I am getting revenue minus expenditure, then I need to deduct what I need to invest in the business for running my business. Maybe in current assets, maybe in fixed assets, we deduct from the cash flow. What will be the free cash flow? And those free cash flow will be discounted. Estimating those free cash flows always creates problem. But then the cash flow is because of assets. The cash flow is because of intangible assets, goodwill, brand. The cash flow incorporate everything. So if it is properly estimated, it is one of the best value we can say for a business. But then the estimation problem of cash flow and the discount rate creates a problem in this method. In every method, whatever you assume, you have to take presumptions, assumptions to value an organization, whether you are buying or whether you are selling. But technically, the cash flow method is treated as one of the best method. We can say that cash flow is also said as the maximum value. Like asset-based, we say minimum value. The cash flow can be said as maximum value. Ultimately, the value depends upon when the two parties are sitting on the table. You need to negotiate if you are the seller. Then from your point of view, the other party need to negotiate on the basis of they want to buy. They will be saying bad things about you. You will be telling good things about yourself so that you can get a better price. They need to pay less. And then the mandwali or negotiation happen. What can be the best price? Whether we go for outright sale of an organization, whether we go for, what do we say, split off, split off means maybe we can sell to somebody or maybe we will be issuing the shares of that company in the market. कि मार्केट में वो कंपनी का शेयर इशू करेंगे, पब्लिक शेयर लेगा और उसके बाद उसको मैनेज किया जाएगा. That means the existing shareholder are not going to get the shares in the new business. Divestiture or sale, whatever. If it is, we are saying that spin-off. Spin-off means out of the entire business, one of the business is kept separate. And for that business, we are giving shares to the existing shareholder of the business. Like Reliance has done Reliance Jio. Reliance से निकाल के उसको अलग कर दिया and Reliance shareholder got the Reliance Jio shares. There is no actually, I will say, sell to any outright party, but the management of Reliance, the board of directors, the business is kept separate. That business can be looked after in a better way by a new management, by the board members and others, so that both the business can grow, because 1 + 1 is 2. But if we remove the 1, then it becomes 11. When we come together, then we say 2 + 2 is 5 because of the synergy. When we leave apart separate, then 1 + 1 becomes 11. Both will be able to perform better. They will be able to focus. Because of that, the divestiture and all that happen. The third thing, in case of sale, we can see management buyout. If the organization want an outright sale and the business which you want to sell, the business is managed by some manager, some person, those managers can say that why you want to sell to others. We are there. We are already running the business for so many years. Why not you sell to us? But it is not a question of argument. Normally, when you are selling the business to existing managers of that division, then the managers never don't have money. They want to run the business because they were running, but they want to run the business, but they don't have money. So normally management buyout is always based on debt. The other company, that is managers of that company, will borrow funds from banks and financial institutions and they pay us. And then they run the business as an independent entity, no connection with our company and that company. No support later because they need to run their own affairs. In the management buyout, the success chances of the new business is very high because they were already managing the business. They know the pros and cons. They know what they need to do to manage on a standalone basis. The chances of success is very high. In the management buyout, the employees, the business remains same. So nobody is losing the job. All the employees are there. They will be running just that. They are not getting the support from the main head office. And they need to do their things on their own. But it is always based on debt. So initially, when the management buyout happened, the debt burden is very high. When the debt burden is high, the debt equity ratio, gearing ratio, interest coverage ratio is a challenge. So if the management will not be able to generate proper earnings to serve the debt, then the problem will happen with the management buyout also. Because in the management buyout, the management, those who are taking the business, they don't have funds. In 99% cases. Here also they don't have funds. Here also they are saying that we don't have money and the market is very bad. We cannot borrow also. For that reason, they are saying that they will be paying us in 10 years, in 10 installments. When you are entering into a commitment to pay in 10 years, that is also in the balance sheet coming as liability, only non-current liability. Whatever we need to pay in 10 years, present value of that will be recorded in the balance sheet as a debt. बैंक से लोन लेते भैया यहाँ लोन है. So in the MBO, still the debt will be there. They need to serve the debt. But at least the management of the company who are looking after the business for so many years, no unemployment, and they know that how they can run the business. They are very optimistic also. So it's a good, what do you say, opportunity. Without destroying the client, brand, goodwill, without adversely affecting the staff. Just 1 second. So in the management buyout, it's a good thing that our goodwill, brand, image, our client services, our staff, and everything will be settled. And the success depends upon whether the management will be able to manage the business on a standalone basis. But they are very opportunistic, and they are very optimistic about that they will be able to do. And it's a good deal for us, because in an area where already the political uncertainties, the problems are there, selling the business outright to a new party will always be difficult. I'm not saying impossible, but घर का आदमी है, सामान ले रहा है, what's the problem? What's the issue in that? And unless or until they are paying a good price. So the valuation needs to be done on those three principles. Every principle has some problems and issues are there, need to be forecasted, need to be managed, so that we can get the value. Now, based on the information which is given in the question, if we see that the assets value, since the financial condition, the political uncertainties are there, and if we sell the assets, what are the realizable value we will be getting? We need to check in the market that if we sell our business to some third party, what are the amount we will be getting? Because by that way, we can get the realizable value, and the assets value will be the minimum value. We can check what are the adjustments in the earnings required, because the resources which we are giving them from the head office, now they need to arrange on their own. So there will be some adverse effect on earnings. But there are something which, because of the head office, there are expenditures which we are deducted from the earnings. Those expenditure will not be there. What will be the effect in the revenues and cash flow? That we need to forecast, so that we can value, and we need to identify the P ratio multiple, because they have mentioned कि आपको what are the problems you will face and how you will resolve those problems. This is a problem not in this valuation. In every valuation, these problems will be there. But you cannot just write, we will analyze the market, we will analyze the political uncertainty, we will analyze the economy. This is, you can say, we need to do in every valuation these things. But the valuation answer need to be given based on assets, based on earnings, based on cash flow. And you need to elaborate these three methods. The problems, advantage, disadvantage, based on the scenario, what is given, that need to be incorporated. So many of you have written the answer, which is very general, which is not giving proper marks, because 60% means out of 33, it will be around 20 marks. 60% is 3, 6, 18, 3, 6, 18, 20 marks. So if we are not covering the proper methods, their problems, the scenario, then we will not be getting more than 40% marks. Just by discussing political economy, this, that, that's not enough. You need to go into technical area of three methods. You need to write them. You need to explain them. What is the advantage, disadvantage of these methods, how we can manage, then the marks will be available properly. So maybe when you are writing the answer for this part and you are doing the research, you need to do a research like ChatGPT. What are the technical methods for valuation in any company? If you want to be more specific relating to this, then you need to give to ChatGPT some extra details that we are a business engaged in this business, some company, some operations where political uncertainty are there. We want to sell that. Somebody is the management of that business are asking for management buyout, and we need to value. So what are the methods we should be using for valuation? What will be the advantage, disadvantage on those methods, and how that can be managed? You can give some data which is given in the question, and then ChatGPT will give you a more detailed answer. Are you saying, Om Prakash, anything?
No, sir. No, sir. Sorry.
Sorry. So what I mean to say that you can do ChatGPT. There is no problem. But when you are writing your answer, don't copy paste. I can do copy paste because I am not giving exam. Maybe you are doing some research. वहां से कोई word, sentence, heading मत लीजिए. Because in the exam you will face problem. Because in the exam no ChatGPT, no Google is there. How you will do research? Your mind. When you are writing answer for the class, you are doing research, you are reading materials, you are doing ChatGPT, Google, this, that. You need to do. I'm telling you, you need to do. But then when you start writing your answer, close it. Don't see there. Now, after doing the research, read it, now you are ready. Now start writing in your language with the time constrained environment. कि भैया 60 minutes में आपको 10 minutes gone in reading planning. So you are left with 50 minutes, 50 into 60%, 30 minutes. 30 minutes में आप तो सारा research कर लिए. अब आप लिखिए ना क्या लिख सकते हैं. Normally the average length would be 45 lines. 1 minute, 1.5 line. So I've seen some of the answers where I can understand that we cannot write those types of language in our case. But I'm not questioning. You know, I know. Because so many years of experience. If I'm writing, giving something to you, I have done so much ChatGPT research, I'm saying. It is not my language. But in the exam, you need to build up your language. So you will be, maybe for the class, you are writing a good answer. But in the exam, you will be very disturbed. 2 days before the exam, you will think what I know. Because you are, for saving time also, maybe you want to submit the answers fast. For that reason, you are doing this. But ऐसा मत करिए. Research करिए, लिखिए अपना language में. If I would be a student giving exam for CIMA or ACCA SBL, anything, I would be practicing writing in my own language. So that's the problem which I realized. And at the same time, maybe we are not writing the methods of valuation properly, which need to be incorporated. And it's again a very prominent type of question which comes in the exam, because at a strategic level, selling the business, buying the business, those things will always be there. So कोई ना कोई case study में, कोई ना कोई paper में तो आएगा जरूर. Whether that paper is for you or somebody else, that I don't know, different variant. I have not realized that जितना भी लोगों ने आंसर लिखा, maximum answers we are not writing properly this part, point number 60%. They are not writing it properly for that reason. If you refer the model answer, they have written the cash flow, the asset based, the earning based, the problems in those methods. When you write, then you need to, after writing, refer the model answer, read model answer, very time taking, very crystal clear, and improve yourself how you can improve. Because that's the thing we need to do for coming 1.5 months if we are talking CIMA students. वही करना है. रिसर्च करना है, आंसर लिखना है. जब मॉडल आंसर मिलेगा, you need to read the model answers, think what are the areas you can improve, and apply that in your next write-up. But don't copy paste from anywhere. Don't take more than 30 minutes. And don't do that. You have written, you are not referring the model answer at all. The time which you are taking for writing the answer, that same time you need to refer the model answer. Read model answer very carefully, so that you come to know where the areas, how you need to improve. That's the thing. If we go on doing, we will be easily able to pass both the exams, ACCA or CIMA, because यही है ये. थोड़ा सा you can see, you need to have knowledge कि भैया earning based, asset based, and cash flow based, there are 3 methods. In those methods, what is the story? बस उतना जानना है. That's done, which you can do research. If there is something you are getting new in the class, then you can do research. When we will be there in the class, we will discuss. But you can do research and then write your answer. That's, according to me, was not written properly by most of you. And some of you have written by copy pasting from somewhere. So that does not have any meaning. Because in the exam, that luxury you will not be getting. It's not an open book exam. You can do research and type. You need to write in your language only. When you will write in your language, spelling mistake, grammar, this, that, ये सब तो होएगा ना, जो कि एग्जाम में भी होएगा. Why not we keep that only? Whatever the capability we have, we need to show in the class that only. And we need to work on those capability. तभी होएगा, नहीं तो होना नहीं है भाई. The second part, which is specifically talking about currency risk. Currency risk is obviously foreign exchange risk. The company is already dealing in different countries, but here is specific risk relating to this MBU. Our currency is something else, and the MBU, they will be paying us in a different currency. So, and that too also in 10 years. So there will be a currency risk we are going to face. As I said in the last class also, whenever a question comes on currency risk, again, technically, you need to mention 3 things. transaction risk, translation risk, and economic risk. If you are not mentioning these three things, marks will be less. But mentioning means you need to know these three risks properly. Yes, Adnan ji.
Good morning, sir.
Yes.
Just wanted to ask you a question about this management buyout. Sorry, I forgot to ask you.
Yeah.
ये अपना E3 P3 में ये लिखा हुआ ये जो write-up, because when we searched online, actually when I searched online, मुझे यही मिला ये discounted cash flow methods, ये method वो method जो आप बता रहे हो ये नहीं मिला मुझे, जो ये
नहीं,
earnings
डिस्काउंटेड
based
कैश फ्लो ठीक ही तो है. डिस्काउंटेड कैश फ्लो अर्निंग्स ये एमबीओ के लिए नहीं है. आप खाली ये मान लीजिए गूगल में सर्च करिए या कोई भी बुक में जाइए, वैल्यूएशन ऑफ अ बिजनेस.
ओके.
एक बिजनेस को वैल्यू करना है, आपको सेल करना है, देन ऑल्सो बाई करना है, देन ऑल्सो यू नीड टू वैल्यू अ बिजनेस. सो व्हाट आर द मेथड्स फॉर वैल्यूइंग अ बिजनेस? देन यू विल फाइंड, बिकॉज एमबीओ लिखने से हो सकता है कि वो जो आप रिसर्च कर रहे हैं वो अलग पकड़ रहे हैं उसको. बिकॉज हम लोग बोलते हैं ना, चैट जीपीटी या कोई भी रिसर्च अगर हम लोग करते हैं, वी नीड टू गिव द प्रॉम्प्ट वेरी केयरफुली. बिकॉज आप वो तो एआई है, आप उसको जैसा बताओगे वो वैसा ही आंसर देगा. तो आप एमबीओ बोलकर सर्च कर रहे हो बिकॉज क्वेश्चन में एमबीओ है, लेकिन आपको सर्च करना है जनरल कॉमन सेंस वैल्यूएशन ऑफ अ बिजनेस. और अगर आपको एमबीए बोल के सर्च करना भी है तो आप ये पूरा सिचुएशन चैट जीपीटी को बताइए कि ऐसा ऐसा है, एक बिजनेस है ना, वो लोग आई मीन टू से आईटी सर्विसेज ऑफर करते हैं, उनका एक कंट्री में बिजनेस है जहां पर प्रॉब्लम्स हो रही है, हम लोग को उसको बेचना है, मैनेजमेंट इज आस्किंग दैट दे कैन टेक ओवर, तो हम लोग उसको सेल करेंगे. तो व्हाट आर द मेथड्स व्हिच वी कैन अप्लाई टू वैल्यू व्हिच विल बी एक्सेप्टेबल टू अस एंड देम टेक्निकली, व्हाट विल बी द एडवांटेज डिसएडवांटेज ऑफ दोज मेथड्स. तब आपको चैट जीपीटी ठीक से देगा सर. प्रॉम्प्ट भी तो ठीक से देना होगा ना.
हाँ सर, थैंक यू सो
नहीं
मच.
तो वो अलग इंटरप्रेट कर रहे हैं. और वैसे अभी जब है तो हम लोग तो अभी डिस्कस कर लिए कि कोई भी तरह का वैल्यूएशन, कोई भी, नॉट टेक ओवर एनी, तीन ही मेथड दुनिया में बताया गया है: एसेट बेस्ड, अर्निंग बेस्ड, कैश फ्लो बेस्ड. कैश फ्लो में डिविडेंड एंड टोटल कैश फ्लो. इफ यू आर बाइंग ए स्मॉल पोर्शन ऑफ एन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, selling a small portion, we concentrate dividend as a cash flow. But if we are buying or selling the entire organization, major holding, then we say normal cash flow. But in the cash flow, both the methods are written. तो आप अगर आपका F3 बोलेंगे, F3 का वैल्यूएशन चैप्टर में जाइए, उसमें लिखा हुआ है वैल्यूएशन करने का 3 तरीका है: अर्निंग बेस्ड मेथड, व्हाट आई शुड से, एसेट बेस्ड मेथड एंड कैश फ्लो बेसिस मेथड. 3 ही होता है सर, चौथा आएगा कहां से? सोचिए. इसी में आपको सारा सोचना है, पॉलिटिक्स सोचना है, इकोनॉमी सोचना है, कंपनी का स्टाफ सोचना है, इसी में जो भी है फोरकास्टिंग करना होगा. इसके अलावा दुनिया में कोई मेथड बना ही नहीं. देयर इज नो अदर मेथड बाय विच वी कैन वैल्यू एन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. मेरा कंपनी का मेरा जो एसेट्स है, प्रॉपर्टी, कंप्यूटर, लैपटॉप, कैमरा, स्टाफ, फर्नीचर एंड ऑल दैट, ये सब, या हम लोग जो पैसे कमाते हैं उससे वैल्यू आएगा. कमाने का 2 जरिया, तो प्रॉफिट जो पीएल अकाउंट में दिख रहा है, और या कैश फ्लो जो पीएल में नहीं दिख रहा है, कैश फ्लो बेसिस करेंगे. इसके अलावा कोई मेथड ही नहीं बन सकता वैल्यू करने का. सपोज आपका वैल्यूएशन करना है, आपके पास जो एसेट्स है आपके नाम में, वो आपका वैल्यू है, या आप वट एवर कैश फ्लो यू आर गोइंग टू अर्न, उसके बेसिस पे आपका वैल्यू है. दुनिया में कोई मेथड ही नहीं बना है सर. और देयर इज नो अदर मेथड टू वैल्यू एनीथिंग इन द वर्ल्ड. So what
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So what I was telling, that in currency risk also you need to be technically ready. If the currency risk will come, I need to cover transaction risk, translation risk and economic risk. I need to cover. Because आपके बुक्स में वही लिखा हुआ है सर, और आप गूगल वगैरह प्रॉपर सर्च करेंगे तो वो यही बताएगा. What is foreign exchange risk? Because of changes in the foreign exchange rate, the effect on the organization, positive or negative, is called foreign exchange risk. Risk does not mean loss. Risk means gain, loss, both. If an organization is dealing directly in the foreign exchange, export, import, borrowings, investment have done in the foreign currency, then the foreign exchange rate is going to directly affect them. If an organization is not having foreign currency transactions like this, no export, no import, no borrowing, no investment in foreign currency, then also foreign exchange rate is going to affect them. How? Suppose there is a war between Israel and Iran, and Israel did explosion, rocket and all that on all the oil mines of Iran. And Iran is 12% oil exporter of the world total oil. Iran is generating 12% of the oil. India is getting the oil from Iran so much. So when the oil will not be there, then the prices of oil will go up. And because of this war, there is uncertainty in the market. The foreign exchange rate goes up. So when India import oil, and because of these uncertainties, the foreign exchange rate goes up and the India import bill will go up. All the transport which is happening, maybe I'm not directly dealing in foreign exchange, but तेल बगैर ना तो इंडस्ट्री चलेगा, oil बगैर ना तो transport होगा. And because of the foreign exchange rate movements or whatever cases, the cost of oil has gone up. So it has increased the prices of everything in the market. Transportation and everything. Uska effect mere pe bhi to hoga na. It is not a question that you are directly dealing in foreign exchange, then only you will be affected by foreign exchange rate movements. Foreign exchange, interest rate, inflation are the factors which are going to affect everybody. And they are interrelated also. They are not standalone. That is a chicken egg story. Whether the foreign exchange is affected by inflation or interest rate, or whether the interest rate inflation affected by foreign exchange. And inflation interest rates se to hum log sab affect hoenge. So it is illogical to say that if you are not dealing directly in the foreign exchange, export, import, or direct borrowing, lending in foreign currency, then in that case, you are not going to affect by foreign exchange rate movement. सब गलत है. Foreign exchange का rate change होने से सबको affect पड़ता है. So if an organization, big Safewell or any organization are going to affect by foreign exchange rate changes, then they need to safeguard themselves. Even the current case study is also having so many foreign exchange, 90 countries they are operated. They have already a treasury department which is managing the foreign exchange risk. So for that reason, in these types of organization, it's an important part. Need to manage the foreign exchange risk always. As far as translation risk is concerned, if you have a foreign subsidiary, foreign branch, their assets, liabilities, while making the group accounts are converted into foreign exchange rate of the year. And the next year, again, the same assets are converted at a different rate. It is not an actual loss or gain. But the conversion will create some foreign exchange gain or loss that is not recorded in PL account. That is recorded in PL account, other comprehensive income. Like you see in the current case study, pre-seen material, they have written in the statement of changes in equity, foreign exchange fluctuation reserve. Because it is not actual loss or gain. But how many in the market understand that it is not an actual loss? They don't understand. They take wrong action. So the company need to manage those risks also. There are 3 types of foreign exchange risk. One is transaction risk, if you are directly involved in the transactions. One is economic risk, even though you are not involved, but still you are affected. And economic risk is also called as long-term foreign exchange risk. If you are exporting, importing for so many years, you will be doing for so many years. You can do transaction hedging for 6 months, 1 year. 5 साल बाद पैसा आएगा, 5 years later. You can't do any hedging now, man. Then the economic risk is irrelevant because it is long term. The foreign exchange risk long term. And if you are not directly dealing in the foreign exchange, then also the interest rate, inflation, foreign exchange are affecting interrelated. They are going to affect you. That is also called economic risk. And the third, translation risk. If you have a foreign currency, foreign branch, foreign subsidiary, then there is a translation risk. If we are having transaction risk, which Safewell, which our company has, then we need to manage this risk always. For transaction risk management, the derivative techniques or the hedging techniques are forward contract, money market, option, futures, swaps. Forward contract means you have foreign currency payable, receivable within 1 year. Because normally the forward contracts in most of the market are not possible for beyond 1 year. If you have foreign currency payable, receivable within 1 year, you can enter into forward contracts with banks, authorized dealers, financial institutions. What do we mean by forward contract? Whatever foreign currency we need to buy or sell in future within 1 year, we are entering into a contract to buy the sell that foreign currency to that authorized dealer. The rate is fixed now only. The rate is confirmed now only. Now later on, maybe the rate goes up, goes down. You are not concerned. You are not bothered. Because your rate for selling the foreign currency, buying the foreign currency is fixed now only. In this whole world, more than 90% of the organization are managing transaction risk. Is still so many options are there in the market, but with the forward contract only. Because we want to concentrate on our business, on our product, on our customer, on our staff, on our competitor. हमको foreign exchange rate में माथा नहीं लगाना है. Yes, Krishna. Krishna, do you want to say anything? So what I mean to say that one of the best way to manage your transaction risk is to enter into forward contract. What is the disadvantage? Suppose I want to buy foreign currency after 2 months for payment to supplier. I am afraid that the foreign exchange rate will goes up. For that reason, I am entering into forward contract. But after 2 months, the rate in the market has gone down. So if I would not have entered into forward contract, then I would be able to pay supplier at a lower rate and my cost outflow would have been lower. But I can't get that benefit. But if the rate is actually higher, then I'm dancing because I have entered into contract already. Normally in the market, when the foreign exchange rate is going to go up, then when you enter into forward contract, the rate is also not attractive because you are thinking that the rate will go up. The others are also thinking rate will go up. Everybody is eating food. You can't enter into contract which is very, very good rate. But at least you can concentrate. You know that what will be the fixed outflow, fixed inflow. The rate is fixed. So you can concentrate on your business. You know that from your outflow, this will be your outflow in home currency. From your inflow, this will be the inflow in home currency. You can set your business margin and all that. But then it is not that the forward contract is always good. Because if the adverse movement is happening, it is good. But the positive movement benefit you will not be getting. So if you don't want to hedge through forward contract to get the positive movement benefit, you can go into futures. Future is forward only. Forward I am doing with a particular authorized person. But futures I am doing in the entire market. The futures I don't know with whom I am doing. In the futures also I am entering into buying foreign currency after 2 months. The rate is, the contract is done. But who is the other party? I don't know, because in the futures, there is a future exchange. In the share market, there is SEBI stock exchange. Similarly, in the futures of foreign exchange, the exchange is there. You don't need to know who is the other party. If I'm entering into futures, buying foreign currency, somebody is there who is entering into selling foreign currency. Koi hoga, there transaction will happen only between two parties. When it is forward contract, the two parties will know. But when futures, the second party we don't know. Say for example, मेरा already Reliance का futures किया हुआ है, कल ही किया है मैंने. किसके साथ हमको क्या मालूम है यार? I have purchased one futures of Reliance. Why? Because Reliance is going to come with bonus issue. On 14th of October, they have a meeting. And it is generally in the media, every news वगैरह सब जगह क्या चल रहा है? Bonus is going to give 1:1. तो अगर वो bonus announce कर दिया 14th को, price will go up like anything. Because When the bonus will be announced, the bonus will be given to those person who will be holding the shares till the record date. So I purchased because futures kharidne se, as I said earlier, futures lot each 250. 250 one contract and 250 into the price is 2,775. Say 2,800 futures price. So 2,800 into 250 will be coming around 7 to 8 lakh. I need to pay 10 to 15% margin and I'm getting a position of 250 shares. If it will go down further today, I will buy again because I want to buy 4-5 lots before 14th only. But if the prices goes up, I will not buy further because I want to enter into धीरे धीरे करके contract में enter करना चाह रहा हूं so that I can earn. So maybe I go into 4 contract, 25 at 250 into 4, 1,000 shares का contract, उस पे पैसा investment होगा 5 lakh, मोटा मोटी. Now, if on 14 they announce bonus and the price becomes 2,800 to 2,900, suppose. So 100 into 1,000, the income will be 1 lakh. By investing 5 lakh, 1 lakh will be the income. और अगर प्राइस गिर के 2,700 हो गया, बोनस नहीं अनाउंस किए तो क्या होएगा? तो 1 लाख लॉस भी होएगा सर, दोनों होएगा. खाली ऊपर का नहीं सोचना है. नीड टू थिंक अबाउट डाउनवर्ड प्रेशर ऑल्सो. But when I've entered into futures, I'm entering into futures. Who is the second person? I don't know. If I will be gaining, the other person will be losing. If I'm losing, the other person will be gaining. And while entering into contract, I have already given margin of 5 lakh. The loss or gain will not be more than 1 lakh. If it is 5 lakh, the loss or gain will be 1 lakh. So whatever margin I have given, if I'm gaining, my margin I will get back 5 lakh plus 1 lakh, 6 lakh. And if I will lose, they will give me my margin 5 lakh minus 1 lakh, balance 4 lakh. Exchange is there. Similarly, in the foreign exchange where exchange is there, that exchange will take control of our contract, loss, gain, everything. But in the foreign currency, if the amount is payable and I'm entering into futures of foreign currency buying, the rate is decided like in forward contract. But in futures, actual foreign currency buying and selling will not happen. It's just the arrangement of gain or loss. Whatever, suppose $1 lakh I need to pay. I entered into futures to buy $1 lakh after 2 months. The rate is 86. The rate is 86. Suppose in 2 months, the rate become 88. 86 to 88, $2 rupees per dollar. I will gain. In the futures, I will get 2 into whatever dollar contract. And from the market, I will buy at 88 to pay to the party. So I am paying 88 to the party, but $2 I gain in futures. My net cost remains 86 only. And if the market rate goes down 84, then in futures I need to pay 2 lakh. $1 lakh into 2 lakh. But in the market I will be buying dollar to pay to the supplier at 84. So my cost is still how much? 84 plus 2, 86 only. So if the market goes up, my rate will be 86. If the market goes down, my rate will be 86. In the forward contract, 86 I have contracted. In the futures, there is a future gain or loss. And in the actual, I will buy market, say dollar, and I will pay to the supplier. But ultimately, my cost will be coming 86 only. But in futures, it may be 86.2, 86.3, 85.9, because the change in the futures price and the change in the spot price is not exactly same. Say, for example, when I did futures of Reliance yesterday, I entered exactly at 2804. That was the futures price. And at that time, the price in the market was 2,700, I think 75 or 76. The futures price was approximately 25-30 rupees more. Similarly, in the foreign exchange or any market also, the price in futures is not exactly same equals to the spot price. Now, when the market gone down, last market gir gaya tha. So my futures price was 2,775 something. So already on 250 into 37,500 loss it is showing. In the market, the price has not gone down exactly by 25-30. It has gone down by a different margin. So when you go into forward contract, The exact outflow or inflow you will be knowing. But in futures, the exact perfect hedging is not happening, because the change in the futures price, the change in the spot price will not be exactly same. Which one is better? In the forward contract, you are entering into a contract with a banks or financial institution authorized dealer. That other party is a standalone party. The risk is high. But in case of futures, the exchange is there. The risk is less, because exchange will always operate on the basis of security. But with the other party, when you are dealing on table and standalone basis, the risk is high. Normally, the banks and financial institution will not create a problem. The transaction will definitely materialize, no issue. But Lehman Brothers or anything can happen anytime. Nobody can guarantee. Exchange में भी problem हो सकता है, लेकिन exchange since margin लेता है, तो problems is not going to happen. Forward and futures are same only, because there may be some differences in the futures, but ultimately dono chalega. And in both the cases, you are not able to get the benefit of positive movements. But while doing hedging, the purpose is what? हमको पॉजिटिव निगेटिव नहीं सोचना है. I just want that if I have foreign currency payable, receivable, I need to know now only what will be my outflow or inflow. I don't want to take tension. If you want to take tension, then remain unhedged. Let the rate move. You will gain or lose. That also possible. But then in that case, the treasury department of your organization need to forecast what is going to happen. If they are forecasting that the positive is going to happen, you remain unhedged. Don't enter into forward or futures or anything. But if whatever they have forecasted that actually happen, then you will gain. But if they have forecasted and the adverse happen, then you will lose. So we need to believe on our treasury forecast that what they are forecasting has a good accuracy level. They had forecasted in the past. What was the accuracy level? 80%, 90%. Then we can believe on them. 100% nobody can become God, because I am saying that the bonus will be announced. Or maybe Israel, Iran, America and all that, the war goes to next level in this coming 3 days. Kya hoega? Maybe the bonus is there, then also price will not go up. I cannot become God. You cannot become God. Maybe you have a good understanding, finance, accounting. You are one of the best person, but still we are not God. Adverse thing may arise. We need to be ready for the adverse situations. So when the companies do business, they generally hedge themselves. They don't want to take such risk open-ended. Ki bhaiya treasury has said this, we will not do. Because if the positive happen, everybody will give sabasi. And if the negative happen, why they have done like that? Why don't they manage their risk? So always in the world, 90-95% of the organization manage risk. They do hedging. They don't want to play open-ended. Prakash Saraf nahi chal raha, Reliance kharid liye 5 lakh ka 1 lakh. This is not done, sir, man. This is not done in business. I'm not doing in Saraf Academy. I'm doing at my personal level. Maja aata hai, अच्छा लगता है. And I generally earn for that reason. But nobody should take that, ki, sir, you give me advice, I should do. You need to take your risk, sir, because many times I lose also. I am not God. You need to be ready, because when I have done this, then I am not God ki meko jarur fayda hi hoega. Maybe Reliance has not announced any bonus. They were thinking, but at the board meeting, nothing was said. Aur daam nahi badega. Look, it's all projection now. In the news media, it is coming. I am assuming that that is correct information that they are going to discuss. Pata nahi hai bhai, mere ko Ambani aakar thodi na bola hai. So you need to understand that when you have an existing position and you are doing something, futures, forward or anything, then it is called hedging. But if you don't have any position and you are doing for dancing it, then it is called speculation. I am doing speculation in the market, but there are many who are having Reliance shares and they are doing the Reliance futures for hedging purpose. We are talking in the exam hedging only, sir. We are not talking speculation. But the transactions in the market are done by both kind of persons. You can say we can go for option. In the futures, it's an obligation to buy and sell. But in the option, there is no obligation. There is only the right. I am interested to buy my foreign currency at the rate of 85 if I am interested. No compulsion. But for buying option, you need to pay the premium. That is, you will not get back. Margin money you are giving, you will get back. But the premium, you will never get back. Premium ka paisa gaya. And in the market, whenever I have done option, 80% time I am losing. But whenever I am doing futures, 80% time I am earning. I have stopped doing options. I was doing options 6 months back also. Here, hota hi nahi. The premium is so high that when the positive movements are there, then also I am not able to earn. So option market has destroyed as far as share market is concerned. I don't know about foreign currency. It's a good thing to think that you have the positive movement. If the adverse movements are there, you can safeguard. But if the positive movements are there, you will be able to gain through the option. Kuch nahi, sir. The premium is very high. It is very costly. But still, you can say that with the option, you can get the positive movement benefits. You can say swap. Swap means I will arrange some currency for you. You will arrange some currency for me. I will borrow INR for you. You will borrow dollar for me. I am from India. You are from US. So you are having local market knowledge. I have local market knowledge. I will give my INR to you. You give my dollar borrowing to me. You will pay my INR interest. I will pay your dollar interest. The interest rate will also be better in this case, and the fund arrangement will be better. We can do foreign exchange risk hedging by different methods. You don't need to write every method in exam. Futures, option, forward. Bhai, nahi. But whatever you are writing, write very crystal clear way. Don't just mention. We can do derivative hedging, option, futures. That's what the examiner don't like. Maybe futures, maybe forward contract need to explain properly. So that when you are saying that we will be doing this and we will be helping the organization to manage the risk, they understand properly. You need to mention in this question that we are going to get the money from MBO if this deal goes ahead in 10 years. Whatever we are going to receive within 1 year, first installment is transaction risk. Whatever we are going to receive beyond 1 year is economic risk. As far as translation risk, it is not there. Earlier, when the Ireland was there, our part, then the translation risk was there. Now it is no more because we are selling already. The assets will be going. So in the financial statement, we will not have Ireland assets and liabilities in the different currency which need to be converted. So that translation risk is gone. But to manage transaction risk, for every year, at the beginning of the year, one installment we are going to get next year, we can hedge. We should be doing hedging. The changes in the foreign exchange rate of our currency, their currency, can give adverse effect or positive impact. We want to safeguard from the adverse impact. For that reason, we can go into forward contract or futures hedging. Forward या futures को समझा दीजिए उसमें. Then you will say economic risk. We are going to get money after 1 year. That is for next 9 years. For that, transaction hedging is not possible. The future option swaps, most of the contract are in any market are normally for 1 year. Swap may be for 2-3 years. But in the swap, you are doing the swap with the other party. There are chances that the problems may be there, that the other party don't meet their obligations. For managing the economic risk, we always say that we need to diversify. If we have something receivable, why not in the same currency some payable? Why not there may be a positive relationship of that currency with some other currency we have. As you diversify, you will be able to manage your economic risk. Or we can say that we can enter into that from the subsequent year, they will be paying the payment in our own currency only. We are not concerned with foreign currency. Whether they will accept or not is a question mark, because you are transferring your risk to them. So when they will be taking the risk, they will be interested to pay less. So need to take call on economic risk, how we are going to manage, whether by home currency billing, whether by, what do you say, going into swap, or maybe we can say that because of the foreign exchange rate movement, we can see some variable term of payment, that they will be paying us something extra if there is adverse movement, or they will be paying slightly less if there is positive movement. Those things we can enter into. for managing economic risk, which is a long-term risk. When you are writing answer for a question which is relating to currency risk, you have to write transaction risk, translation risk, and economic risk. You have to write how we are going to manage these risks, whether option, whether futures, whether forward, something you need to explain. Then only you will be getting marks. Otherwise, आप ऐसे ही कुछ भी लिखते रहेंगे. Maybe it is not 100% illogical. You are saying foreign exchange rate changes because of political uncertainty, because of economy, this. Then you were discussing foreign exchange rate changes. And some 2-3 lines you were writing, uske karan loss hoga. That's okay. But that is not going to give you more than 20-30% marks. Because ultimately the question is not explained properly the way they are asking. And if you refer the model answer, they are writing those things. Transaction risk, translation risk, economic risk, forward, futures, option, they are writing. So when you are reading the model answer, next time you need to be ready. कि भाई मेरे को ऐसे लिखना है. No calculation. In ACCA we have AFM. In CIMA we have F3, where the calculations are there. The CIMA students are not required to give F3 exam. For the time being, we are not focusing on ACCA, AFM. And in the exams, you can refer any past term papers. Never they are asking any calculation of future option swaps and everything. कोई calculation नहीं दे रहे हैं वो लोग. लेकिन whatever you understand, that need to be written properly. If you don't write that properly, marks will not be given properly. If I will do the questions on calculation of forward, future, option, swaps, ये सब, this cannot be done in half an hour. This will take minimum 7 to 8 classes, which I will be taking after this batch. AFM classes, foreign exchange risk and interest rate risk. Will be taking around 10 to 12 classes of 3 hours each. It cannot be discussed here, and no intention also. Not doing calculation, understanding premium, this, that, uska plus, minus, loss, gain, this, that, rate forecasting. So many things are there. That is a different area altogether. वो यहाँ काम नहीं है. Not going to come in exam. But basic understanding which you need to build up in writing, that you need to take care. Because according to generally the student feedback, this question is difficult. Not for you, but whenever the student give exams, sir currency risk आ गया था, sir MBO आ गया था, sir valuation आ गया था. We need to be ready that these two parts are slightly technical. इसमें ऊपर वाले में अर्निंग बेस्ड, एसेट बेस्ड एंड कैश फ्लो बेस्ड, एंड नीचे वाले में ट्रांजैक्शन रिस्क, ट्रांसलेशन रिस्क एंड व्हाट डू यू से इकोनॉमिक रिस्क. नीड टू मेंशन प्रॉपरली, explain properly, so that you will be able to score marks. If you are writing something after research, you are not getting good, still you are writing, but then refer the model answers, how they have written. If you are not understanding the model answers, then ask in the class, what is the meaning of this paragraph? What exactly they want to say? Properly, you need to understand. Suppose, for example, what they are writing in the model answers relating to second question. As per my understanding, normally when anybody is reading the answer, they will not find any problem. आपको ऐसा कुछ महसूस नहीं होएगा that you are not getting, you cannot write. Obviously, you will think that it is more lengthy, very detailed and all that. That's okay. But then when you read properly, you are better prepared for next time for the same type of question. Because I will be giving the same question again in the class based on the current pre-scene material. अब ACCA का pre-scene material will be coming on 20th, 21st November. तो उसमें भी तो ये क्वेश्चंस आ सकते हैं ना. कितना प्रैक्टिस करेंगे 10 दिन में? The case study there, as I said earlier, ACCA Institute should give the pre-scene material in advance. They are not giving. So in the market, the mock papers and all that are not there. Because it is difficult to prepare mock papers in 5-10 days and ready and then all that. CIMA ठीक है. 40-45 days earlier, they are giving the pre-scene, so we are getting ample of time. But ACCA को depend रहना पड़ेगा पुराना case study का questions करके ही. Because so many mocks you will not be getting. So answer is written to the CEO from the senior finance manager, the MBO valuation and currency risk. Many of the students are not writing these things. You are thinking ये तो normal है, but in the exam also you will skip that. That is affecting your professionalism marks. Because you are talking to your CEO, not having a mail structure, not having a professional language, then in that case professional marks आपका जा रहा है. तो आप हैबिट बनाओगे कि मेरे को लिखना है, तब तो बनेगा ना. आप सीधा आंसर लिखने लग जाते हो. You start writing straight away, the answer should not be done. You need to think always whenever you are writing answer, आप एग्जाम में बैठे हो. You are in the exam hall, time is limited, start writing that. I have been considering your recent email about the prospective management buyout of the Elgard operations and the currency risk on the proposed payment. I have presented my thoughts below. It is not answer to the question. It is you are talking to your CEO and you are the senior finance manager, you are replying him. Some of the students are introducing this introduction part very lengthy. The introduction part is what is asked in the question, in short you are writing. When you write this, the examiner understand you have understood the requirement. And when you have understood the requirement, 80% chance is there you will be writing a very good answer. Because the requirement is not a confusion in your mind. This is focusing on that. Exam-wise examiner reading this sentence, 2-3 lines, they understand whether you are writing a good answer or not. And in the practical life, you are replying to your CEO, bhai, whatever you are asking, I am replying. That is also professionalism. MBO valuation. Your email asks how we might determine a reasonable price for the Argland operations. That will be a price that we and the Argland managers both agree to be fair. We should start by valuing the business using several different methods and then negotiate with the managers to find the price that suits us both. The biggest problem when valuing shares in unquoted companies such as the Argland operations is that there is no market value to act as a starting point. There are, however, a number of different methods that we can use to value the business in the first place, as explained below. For each of the methods, I have briefly outlined the method and then addressed the difficulties associated with using it and explained how we overcome those difficulties. The first method is net asset method. Here the value is simply taken as the sum of the value of the business assets less its liabilities. That is called net assets. There are a couple of problems with using this approach to value Argland operations. First, we are not valuing a standalone company here, but instead a division of a bigger company. Separating out the assets and liabilities from those of the safe well could be very difficult, especially if some assets are shared between different parts. अगर वहां लैंड बिल्डिंग है तब तो ठीक है, लेकिन कोई शेयर एसेट्स, then what portion belongs to them will be a part, will be a problem. If we take the value of assets and liabilities from safe value statement of financial position, that will only pick up the values of the tangible and will ignore any intangible such as brand, goodwill, customer relationship and all that. While there are theoretical ways to value intangible assets, they are notoriously unreliable in practice, making it virtually impossible to include them in the valuation. Since ignoring the value of the intangible assets will probably undervalue the business, the net assets method should only be used to give us an idea of absolute bare minimum value that we should accept. You can see that they have written the problem, these 2 paragraphs, and then they are writing the solution to that problem because that is the requirement of the question. PE method, price earning ratio earning method. With this method, the value of business is found by taking its earning profit after tax multiplied by the suitable PE ratio. The method associated with this method are identifying earnings and the PE ratio to use. The earnings figure is generally taken as the latest earnings figure adjusted for any non-recurring items. That is, we are looking for an estimate of sustainable future earnings rather than the historic earnings. In the case of Argland operation, this could be very difficult to identify. Historically, the Argland operations have been part of Safewell, but if the MBO goes ahead, the company will be standalone. So the cost of service such as finance, marketing, human resource that are probably provided by Safewell at the moment will need to be arranged separately. Also, the MBO management team will presumably run the business slightly differently once they have separated from Safewell. So there could be changes in other areas too, perhaps a new service introduced, a new increased revenue. In our valuation calculation, we won't be able to predict what the independent business will do in the future. So to give us an estimate of likely future earnings, perhaps the most recent earnings of the division might be the safest estimate. As far as P ratio is concerned, an unquoted company does not have a P ratio. So usually use the P ratio of a similar quoted company instead. और दुनिया में यही होता है. As long as the operation in Argland are similar to the overall operations of Safewell, the existing Safewell P ratio can be used. The third method, discounted cash flow. This method values the company at present the value of the forecast future cash flows. Free cash flow are available cash flows that, after allowing for the planned capital expenditure, working capital investment needed to maintain the business activities. These are usually forecast on a year-by-year basis for next few years. And then simplified assumptions made 2% per year for the future years. These cash flows are then discounted as a suitable rate. Now that the forecasted free cash flows would be stated before deducting finance cost and discounted at the weighted average cost of capital to give a value of the total company minus the debt value will give you the value for equity. This method of valuation is generally considered superior to the P ratio method as it uses cash flows rather than the accounting profit. However, the difficulty in using it in this cash flow will be very similar to those of the P ratio, namely how do we forecast the cash flow of Ireland operation once they have been separated out from the main Safewell and what cost of capital we should use. As a sensible approximation, perhaps we should forecast the cash flow of Ireland divisions on the assumption that cost and revenue will be similar in future the way we are earning. And then discounted cash flow using the company's WACC on the assumption that the risk associated with the business remains same. When we have estimated the value of the Ireland operation using all these methods, we should arrange to meet Manuel, Gracia and MBO team and negotiate to find the place that suits both of us. If we have calculated P ratio model based on the existing earnings and discounted cash flow based on existing cash flow, it is likely that MBO team will try to argue that separating from Safewell will cause the independent company to incur extra cost to replace the internal services that will no longer be provided by Safewell. There is probably some truth in this, so we should be sympathetic to this view, as long as the alternative proposal by MBO team don't take the value down below the net assets valuation. If you see the feel of write-up, there is nothing that according to me anybody is not understanding. But I'm guaranteeing that out of all of you, 90% have not read this answer at all. Adnan, have you read this answer?
I just read the first question answers.
But this is given to you 4 or 5 days back, sir. Huh? Amit ji, have you read this answer?
Sir, I read.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
So why you are not writing the answer? Amit ji, इस बार पास नहीं होना है क्या?
नहीं होना है सर.
अरे सर क्यों कर रहे हैं सर? जब भी एग्जाम दे रहे हैं, एग्जाम नया है, केस स्टडी नया है. Even though Virat Kohli is coming for batting after 100 matches played, so many centuries, but every new match is a new match, man. Need to understand this. I'm not questioning, but I have realized that you all are not reading the model answer at all. आप सोचते हैं research करके you have written the answer, it's gone. But not reading the model answer, your work is only 40-50% done. They are explaining a particular method, how it is done, net assets, P ratio in the beginning. Then they are saying that in that method, what are the problems? And then they are saying, how can we manage those problems? Believe me, if any question on any case study comes in the exam, 80% write-up will remain same. 20% will be subject to specific whatever information they have given. It's a very technical type of answer. The structure of the answer, how we need to write, what is the different methods, problems, how those problems can be resolved. If you read, the next time when I will give you the question, you will be able to write whatever you have written far better than that. But if you have just submitted, and when I'm saying you have not written, then you are thinking that, sir, kya bol rahe hain? If I'm saying that, okay, if I'm saying that you have not written, if I'm saying that general write-up, mera ye bolna, what I mean to say that you read the model answer, you understand what mistakes you are doing. but we don't read the model answer at all. The work is only half done if you are just submitting the answers. The balance half is still left. And every time the improvement will be happening when you read the model answer 2-3 times very carefully. We cannot write this much in the exam. This is not for writing in the exam. This is for education purpose. And in the world, there are 3 methods only for valuation. There is no other method available for valuation. So Adnan ji, whether you research anything, dunya mein kahin bhi, these are the only 3 methods. The currency risk. If we let the MBO team pay us the agreed consideration in 10 annual installments, there will be a significant credit risk. We should make sure that we ask our legal team to add safeguard into the agreement in case the independent organized business does not make any profits, particularly given how volatile the country seems to be at the moment. You asked me in your email to focus on the currency risk that we will face. So I have done that below as well as recommending ways in which the currency risk could be mitigated. Different types of risk. We could insist that the MBO team pays us on the 10 installments in our own currency B dollar rather than the argument currency A dollar. If we can agree this SafeWell will face no currency risk at all. Such a proposal is unlikely to be acceptable by MBO at all. Effectively, we would be transferring our currency risk to them. So I will assume from now on the 10 installment will be paid in SafeWell Ireland currency only. SafeWell currency only, not in Ireland. The 3 types of currency risk are transaction risk, economic risk, and translation risk. If we allow the MBO team to pay in installments, SafeWell will face transaction risk. The risk that the exchange rate moves between agreeing the amount of payment and the payment date. And economic risk, the longer term risk caused by currency movements. Translation risk relates to the foreign assets and liabilities, so would actually be eliminated by selling the Ireland business. We do not have any Ireland assets and liabilities in our balance sheet. Application to the 10 installments agreement. The MBO team will have to commit to 10 payment over a 10-year period. Assuming these amounts will be payable in A dollar if the exchange rate between A dollar and our currency B dollar changes. The amount will be either more or less than we have forecasted. Economic risk. The fact that the Ireland economy is weak, high unemployment, high inflation suggests that the A dollar is likely to weaken. If it does, then the future payments are likely to reduce because A dollar we will be getting in B dollar conversion less when converted into B dollar. So there is a greater likelihood in the short term of downside risk to SafeWell than an upside risk. It is not easy to mitigate this economic risk. SafeWell could try to negotiate for larger payments in the earlier years and a smaller one later, but sounds like MBO don't have money. Hopefully, over the 10-year period, the economy in Ireland will stabilize and economic risk will reduce or perhaps even reverse if a new government manages to stabilize the economy and strengthen the currency. Transaction risk. SafeWell could set up hedgers each year for individual installments using methods such as forward contracts or futures to fix the exchange rate or currency option, which could be lapsed if the exchange rate actually moves in favor. However, these hedges could be expensive and time consuming to set up, and there is no guarantee at this stage. Hedging will actually be beneficial. If we are sure that rate will move in favor 1 year, we might decide not to hedge. Therefore, we should evaluate the risk associated with the 10 installments on an annual basis, standing at the beginning of every year for a year ending. And a decision should be made as to whether the hedge on the basis of expected volatile over the, say, 3 months prior to the settlement. The cheapest and the easiest ways to hedge this risk would be to use forward contract to guarantee SafeWell a fixed price in B dollar. That would cost SafeWell the opportunity to benefit from upside in the event that the exchange rate movements in our favor. That would cost as well, because if you do forward contract upside movement, you will not be getting the benefit. We could alternatively purchase a call option on B dollar or put option. Bolega call option, put option. If something rate is going to go up, you need to buy the option on that so that when the rate will go up, you don't lose. But if something rate is going to go down, you want to gain out of the down. Like I have purchased the futures of Reliance. I can buy call option on Reliance. Jiska daam badne se fayda uthana, you need to buy that. Call option is buying only. That would give us the right but not the obligation to sell A dollar and B dollar. The decision would depend on the board attitude, whether the SafeWell would be willing to pay the expensive premium amount required for the option, or they want the flexibility through the option or not. You understand that when they are explaining the currency risk, they are explaining transaction, translation, economic. They are talking about hedging of those three things. You need to write in that way. General आप बोलेंगे political, economical, वो इन्होंने भी बोला है. लेकिन that portion is not coming which is required in the answer. Because we are not normal foundation level students. We are strategic level students. And the examiner think that maybe after passing the exam, we will be handling the treasury department in an organization. We will be handling treasury department means we are the boss. We will be asking our juniors to do the work, whatever we will be saying. That type of write-up they want from the student. But most of you are not reading the model answer at all. You are just submitting the homework, but you are not thinking on your improvement. How it will come? Because the two case study, different parts we have done. Believe me, whatever I will give questions on CIMA case study, the new material, 99% the question will remain same whatever we have done. नया थोड़ी ना आएगा. टेक ओवर, मर्जर, फॉरेन एक्सचेंज रिस्क, इंटरेस्ट रेट रिस्क, स्ट्रैटेजिक डिसीजन, उसमें क्या फायदा नहीं है, इंटरनल कंट्रोल, ऑडिटिंग, यही तो रहेगा. और क्या रहेगा? Whatever we have done in the ACCA 2 papers, in the CIMA 2 papers, it is covering so many areas, so many technical discussion in short done. It's done, sir. Technically, you are prepared. But if you are not reading the model answer properly for your improvement, then the outcome will never come. That is lagging in most of you. Many of you are not submitting the answers. That's a problem. Unka to kahani khatam hai. Those who are submitting the answers but not reading the model answer when it is shared. So that improvement is not coming in the next write-up when you are writing the same thing. I expect that this should not be happening going forward. If I am there in place of you as a student, I will be doing the same thing which I am asking you. Writing the answers, doing the research, then writing in my own language with a time frame. After writing, I will be looking at model answers. I will be seeing what are the things where I need to improve. What are the things I can incorporate. I know very well. Maybe some areas I have written which is better than the model answer, so I can perform better. That I need to bring in every next class, every next write-up. That should be there. That should be showing in your answer. And when you go on practicing like this, there is no tension at all. Then in that case, it's a very easy exam. But not writing the answer, not referring the model answer, not thinking of improvement is a problem in this, because there is no fixed answer. Even though you read the model answer 20 times, then also you are not reading for comma, full stop to write the same thing. You want to get the concept, get the clarity, how the answer needs to be written. Nowhere they are writing in any answer Roman 1, Roman 2, Roman 3, Roman 4, A, B, C, D. Nowhere they are writing. Not a single question. They are putting the heading, then they are writing the paragraph, putting the heading, writing the paragraph, putting a broader heading for different parts of the question. For a question, 60-40%, they are not writing 2 times mail to this, that. Still some of the students are doing in the same question double time. That is again non-professionalism. You can't repeat the things whichever you have repeated. एक क्वेश्चन के अंदर एक ही बार मेल वगैरह प्रेजेंटेशन होगा, इंट्रोडक्शन एक ही बार होएगा. It cannot be again and again. But still we are doing again and again. Some of the students are writing answer, not bifurcating the 2 parts separately. Need to improve, man. बहुत दिन हो गया. We have already done 20-25 days study. We need to be ready that now we can perform much better way as compared to what we are doing. Those who are doing very well, they can even do better. Why not we should be scoring rank? If we have the capability in ACCA, why not I should be getting rank? Huh? क्या भानु?
Will work.
Yeah, you are doing well, but you can do much better. Because
Yes, sir.
you have already that competency is there. Prem is there or left?
Yes, sir.
So थोड़ा improve करिए sir. थोड़ा और
Yes,
ध्यान.
sir. Definitely, sir.
Because this is not that balance sheet or AFM. I will be showing you the calculation of forward futures and I will say that you need to do the same exactly. That's other thing. That's a technical study, sir. This is not technical. This is open-ended. I cannot say exactly you need to write the same sentence, same comma. I cannot write. But whatever the feel of the answer, the way the institute is writing, what they are writing, we need to try incorporate that in our further write-up. Every answer when we write, we need to feel we have written better than earlier. That feeling should be coming. When somebody scored 50, now next time they need to score 100. You have a challenge for you, with yourself, not with others. I need to perform better in the next class, that way. Similarly, in this question, which is, you can say, the third one, I found miss because first one, most of you have written very well, which was general type, because the employee problem was there. We need to close the operations. Still improvement can be possible. Somebody don't understand suitability, feasibility, acceptability, writing hey, why, this, that, and all that. But yeah, when I have given the comment and then the model answer is there, read once here to improve. And even somebody has written very well. I will not be giving more than 55 to 60% marks, even though you deserve then also, because I cannot make you high-fi. I will be giving out of 100, 60, 65 maximum. Usse zyada nahi. Maybe you deserve more, because how the improvement will come if you don't feel. So for that reason, but normally I mean to say that if you are scoring 42, 43, 45, 47, maybe you may be getting 50, but you are standing on verge of just pass fail. So improvement is required. Maybe the length is short. Maybe you are not writing properly. When you read the model answer, you will understand why I have given you that marks. But when we are not reading the model answer, that problem is happening. There is no solution for this. If you don't work the way I am saying, it is now 1 week later, you receive the following email. Bhanu and Amit ji, we will not be doing class in the morning. This is first and last, sorry. But I thought that we should be doing the class. Lift. Yeah, sorry. It is now first week later. If I will change any time, then I will do in the evening only. So that no problem to anybody. I will not. But if I will change, I will keep in the evening only.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. It is now 1 week later, you receive the following email. To the senior finance manager, Dr. Pratima Thakali, non-executive chairman, Safewell board structure. This is question. I had a conversation by telephone yesterday with Professor Martin Anderson. Attached are some notes for your reference. I think Martin proposals have a lot of merit. I must confess, I have been having similar thoughts recently. I will therefore bring the matter up at the next board meeting and would welcome your thoughts on a couple of matters. Firstly, evaluate the arguments both for and against the proposal to restructure the board in line with Martin proposal together with recommendations. Evaluate the arguments both for and against the proposal to restructure the board in line with the Martin proposal together with recommendation. The question is very direct. Whatever the proposal given by Martin, we need to say for and against with Martin proposal together with recommendation that whether we should be doing this or not, our recommendation. And it's a 50%. Half of time should be given for both the parts. Secondly, Martin suggests that there might be resistance from both Baijang and Murat Aydin to her proposal. Martin suggests that there might be resistance from both Baijing and Murat Aydin to her proposal. Martin suggests that there might be resistance from both these persons. Please identify why this might be the case and evaluate any possible ethical issues should the board insist on such changes being made against their will. There are many parts in the question. The problems by the two persons to proceed with the proposal. Please identify why this might be the case and evaluate any possible ethical issues should the board insist on such changes being made against their will. What are the ethical issues we are going to face if the board against these two persons will implementing this? Then what are the ethical issues we are going to face? Ethical issues relating to that. What is the story they are asking? The reference material, notes of the telecom with Professor Martin Anderson. I spoke today with Professor Martin Anderson, Senior Independent Director. The following points were raised. MA has expressed a concern about the overall makeup of executive team. MA has expressed concerns about the overall makeup of the executive team. Martin Anderson is saying this. A company that's the size and complexity of Safewell should have representation at the highest management level in areas of both human resource and IT. And the same problem is there in the present pre-scene also. For the IT, they don't have a separate person. Furthermore, the current divisional structure is inconsistent. She does not think that separating responsibility for physical-led security and intelligence-led security is necessary. She processes that Beijing become HR director and that Mr. Murad Aydin be appointed as a director of IT. This would then require the appointment of new COO who would oversee all operations security activity. I said that this might be difficult to enforce if current directors raised any change. MA stated that she felt there would certainly be some resistance at the outset, but that this did not mean it was not the right step for the company. I said I would give her comments some consideration and put the matter on the agenda for the next board meeting. Now, to write this answer, technical knowledge is not required because they are not asking any technical thing. They are asking generally some changes in the corporate governance, some changes in the executive, non-executive directors. The IT and HR operations are very important. The two persons should be handling that. And the person who is handling already should be, you can say, they are appointed as HR and IT. So for that reason, there should be a new COO who will be looking after the overall operations. By that, the responsibility can be assigned in much direct way. The persons are more concerned. They will be able to take a call because how many employees are working in our organization? I don't remember. And as far as IT is concerned, the entire business is based on information, technology, hardware, software, protection of data for the clients and all this. It's a very sensitive information. So managing those things, further development, improving competitiveness, and achieving that best IT system requires separate persons for this. So the professor is correct in his saying that we should be doing this because for efficiency, for taking decisions, for risk management, whatever you all have written, the problems obviously must be there that it is going to increase our cost. Straight away, there are two other directors, there is a CEO, it is going to increase our cost. At the same time, it is going to imbalance the board structure, executive, non-executive directors. The executive directors will be more, non-executive will be less. So we need to appoint some non-executive directors also. Or either we don't appoint them as a director, we need to say them the head, managerial level, may not be the director. The problem will also be there that maybe the board structure, the changes in that, the staff and the others are not liking. This is basically change in the culture, change in the system. And if they don't like, they will not be able to function properly. So that problems will arise. We can say that an organization have such a structure, operations in so many countries, and different types of clients we are serving, intelligent-led services also, which are purely based on IT. And those services, we require this type of system. May not be in one go, we can go for gradually, we can think of convincing others before in the board meeting and in the other meetings also with the staff. We can convince them, we can explain them the benefits of doing that, and whatever the reservation anybody has, how we can resolve those reservations. But in the long run, this would be there. This would be implemented. In the long run, it will be beneficial for our company. When we say the second part, then the second part, major issue is ethical issues. Still, I have seen that normally we are not writing properly. I said in the previous time also that it is not essential that you need to use ethics ka professionalism, then integrity, objectivity, competence, confidentiality. It is not essential. But if you use them, you will be able to write very fast because you are ready with the points. You need to explain those points. Integrity, how you will explain? We will say that we are already finding problems in managing our IT, HR with so many employees. Just to think about, you can say, some of the reservations from directors on some employees or some other person not doing this and deciding in the board meeting something which is not correct will not be integral. Because we need to, the directors need to maintain the integrity, and in the board meeting it should be discussed at length how it is going to affect positively so that we can take this call. If we talk about objectivity, objectivity is deciding something without any bias, without thinking about a particular group or particular person, and based on facts and circumstances. The circumstances are already revealing that we are not managing our operations efficiently, effectively, because of the less directors, less efforts are put on the HR, and this. Again, we can say that maybe we will be objective. Somebody can think that we are objective on the Baijang and Murad. It is not a question of their objectivity. It's a question of that need to be done, because when this will be done, then in that case, it will be affecting us. Baijang and Murad have done work for so long and they are appointed, they are getting the reward. Maybe they will be getting better remuneration, but still it needs to be done. It is not about thinking about them. It is about thinking about the whole organization, managing their operations. For that reason, we are doing. Each point you need to explain in a proper way. और अगर आपको ये नहीं यूज करना है तो भी तो लिखना यही सब है ना. Even though you don't want to use integrity, objectivity, confidentiality, whatever, don't use. But you need to write the ethical things in both the way. Ethical मतलब खराब क्या है, अच्छा क्या है. One direction, another direction. What can be the best course of action? Because ethics is not legal. It is not right or wrong as per law. It is right or wrong as per understanding. From one point of view, it is wrong. From another point of view, it is right. If you are not saying the right, wrong, both the aspect, you will not be getting marks for ethical things. Why any organization have ethical principles when the laws are already there? Company law, any law are already there. Why there is separate ethical code should be there in any organization? Because that thing is not written in the law. From one angle, they are correct. From another angle, they are bad. Suppose just in example, illogical. In Kolkata from today, there is big holiday. No staff is coming. My team members were telling yesterday, sir, can we leave earlier at 4:30? It is problem to reach home because there are blockages and all that. So how we will be reaching? It will be taking time. Normally, कौन सा उन लोगों को घर जाना है वैसे कोई बोले तो first बात. And when already 4 days will remain as holiday, which is already decided, it is not requested. So what I should do? I should accept their proposal or not? I have not accepted. I said no. Because there were so many work left that need to be completed. How that will be completed? And I'm not going to disturb them from today onwards. From Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Why? Now that's holiday. They should enjoy. Maybe they should sleep, whatever they will do. Because ethical. एथिक्स सोच रहे हैं, यहाँ कोई नियम कानून का बात थोड़ी ना हो रहा है। एज पर लीगल आई एम नॉट अलाउड टू गिव देम द अर्ली माने leaving, that is at 4:30. Why? That's a normal day. Need to work. Maybe we are reaching home at, because a responsibility towards you also, no? There are so many work left need to be done. And already 4 days holiday. How that will be managed? इसके लिए हम, in our organization, there are some guidelines: coming time, leaving time, tiffin time, this, that, what they can talk to each other in social media, what they can write, cannot write. So many things are there. We are saying that that is ethics. In your organization also, where you, har cheez, from their angle, the sir is not good. Puja time, sir can leave us 2 hours, 3 hours earlier. What's the issue? Work can be done later. And they will be getting positive. They will be feeling positive. Ki sir achhe hain, have given leave earlier and all that. But there is other aspect also to this. It is ethical. जब आप ethics लिखेंगे, you need to be very, I mean to say, open-ended, why it is right and wrong. Again, the problem is coming that whenever we have done ethical questions, most of you have not read the model answer at all. You are thinking discussion done, you have written the answer, okay. And there are many who are not writing the answer also. How they will pass, I don't know. Then you will say, sir, they have not given me marks. You are not working in the right direction, sir. क्या solution निकाले इसका? Even though you have submitted the answer, but you are not reading model answer. Why, man? Since first class, we are saying this. Itna 20-25 days padne ka main purpose what was? Ki when the pre-scene will be there, we are ready with different parts. We just prepare the pre-scene properly, 2-3 times reading, understand the industry, and then we can answer any type of question which can come in the exam. That's the purpose of these 20-25 days involvement, na? Going forward, still huge time is there. Still. Read the model answer once you submit your answers. Try to improve on your weak areas. Don't go on doing the same mistake again and again. And even most of you are doing. It's not that only one. सभी लोग ये mistake कर रहे हैं कि improvement पे ध्यान नहीं दे रहे हैं. Please, request. Which is a general question, not technical. The second one can be said as technical. But the third one also, why? Now to we should improve. If there are changes in the board structure and all that, if there are ethical issues in that, how to manage, how to cover that. इतना सुंदर से तो लिखा हुआ है. Why don't we able to reproduce that again? With a different scenario, no problem. But we can manage what they have written. To the non-executive chairman, from the senior finance manager, board structure and ethical. Every time they are making this heading and all that. Why every time we are not? Kitna jaldi hai? Kahan jana hai? Why we are straight away writing the answer? Why not we make the presentation properly? Why don't we make an habit? Those who are not doing, to whom I am saying. Following your request, please find the key points regarding the proposed board restructuring and the associated ethical consideration. When I have read your answer, given you marks, I have read this 2 times. पर अभी तीसरी बार फिर से रीड कर रहा हूं. जब तक I will not read the model answer, I cannot give you marks. To give you marks, I need to read the model answer. तो आप क्यों नहीं read करेंगे? Arguments for the proposal to restructure the board. Cross-functional synergy. By appointing a chief operating officer to oversee all operating security activities, Safewell can capitalize on the benefits of cross-functional synergy. Cross-functional means for intelligent, and for that, the same, there should not be separate division, that they are saying. Currently, the separate divisions may have overlapping functions or redundant processes. A unified leadership can eliminate these inefficiencies, potentially reducing cost and improving responses times to make market or environmental changes. It is essential to consider how this synergy could lead to development of more integrated and innovative security solutions, enhancing Safewell market offerings. We are not reading so that we can comma, full stop, mug up this. No. Just get the feel how they are writing, what they are writing. Dedicated leadership in critical areas, HR, IT. The role of HRIT are becoming increasingly strategic at SafeWell, especially as we advance in areas like cyber security and employee development. By allowing Baijing and Murad Aydin to focus on HRIT respectively, we can expect to see more robust policies, cutting-edge technological implementation, and strategic workforce planning. Why? Because they will be focusing on those areas. This would not only support our current operations, but also prepare us for challenges and opportunities going forward. Competitive advantage. Aligning SafeWell board with the industry best practice could improve our appeal to potential clients and high caliber professionals. The structure of the board sends a signal to the market about our operational philosophy and adaptability. A modern industry aligned board could be a deciding factor for clients looking for forward thinking security partners and could help in attracting and retaining top clients. Adaptability to change. The security industry is evolving rapidly with new risk emerging constantly. The proposed board structure would enable SafeWell to be more agile in its response to these changes, with dedicated directors focusing on HR and IT and chief operating officer to streamline operations. SafeWell would be better positioned to implement new technologies and respond to workforce trends effectively. Argument against the proposal. Potential loss of expertise. The current directors, Baijing and Murad, have built considerable expertise and understanding of their respective divisions. Restructuring could lead to dilution of this deep knowledge, possibly affecting service quality and client relationships. It's essential to recognize the value of expertise in our decision-making process and consider how it can be retained within the business. Cultural impact. The proposed changes could have a significant impact on the culture and employee engagement. Culture is a cornerstone of organization success, and any changes to the structure could unsettle this. Understanding the intricacies of how these changes could affect employee morale, engagement, and ultimately productivity is critical to the company's operations. Cost of restructuring. The financing implications of such restructuring are not insignificant. Apart from the director costs such as redundancy packages, recruitment, there are also indirect costs to the disruption of service during the transition period. It's imperative to weigh these costs against the potential long-term benefits of new structure. Recommendations. Conduct on the organizational impact study. Such a study would provide a detailed analysis of potential effects of restructuring on all aspects of business. This is not limited to the financial, but also includes employee sentiment, client satisfaction, operational efficiency. A comprehensive study would provide a strong foundation for making an informed decision. Engage in stakeholder consultation. The insights and concern of a stakeholder, particularly the current directors, are invaluable. This representative can highlight potential unforeseen challenges and opportunities that would restructuring may bring. This engagement would bring to facilitate by-in-laws, reduce resistance to the proposed changes. Why there may be resistance from both Baijing and the Murad Aydin. Personal investment in the current rules. The directors' resistance may be rooted in their deep commitment to their division, where they have invested considerable time and effort. This personal investment often translates into a strong emotional attachment to their team and achievement. Any changes that may be perceived as diminishing their role or demanding their team could be met with resistance, as this may feel like negotiation of their hard work and their success. Disruption to the established team. Restructuring can lead to realignment of the team, which we have set the established order, affecting interpersonal dynamics and disrupting finally tuned processes. This could lead to a drop in the productivity, as teams may take time to adjust to new leadership structure and clarify the roles and responsibilities. The director's resistance could stem from a concern for their team's well-being and desire to preserve the stability that contribute to the performance. Career progression centers. Directors may resist changes that they believe could limit their career progression opportunities. Baijing Murad may have aspirations for their career within SafeWell that align with their restructuring could be as a barrier to their aspirations. बोलेगा हम लोग उनके बारे में क्यों सोचना है? If you don't think about your staff, directors, managers, then they will retaliate. They will come with a team. गड़बड़ हो जाएगा. Loss of influence and status. A change in this role may be perceived by the directors as a loss of power and prestige. This can impact their decision-making authority, access to resources, and capacity to influence company strategy. Uncertainty and fear of unknown. change often bring uncertainty, which can be a source of anxiety and fear. Without clear communication about the future state of the company, the directors may be concerned about the security of their positions and strategic direction of their department. Impact on personal goals. If the directors have personal goals that they are pursuing through their current role, the restructuring may threaten the achievement of these goals. Resistance might be rooted in the concern that that person's objectives will no longer be available within the new structure. Recommendation in the light of the itna sara nahi likh sakte, but still, in the light of the potential resistance from Baijang and this, it is advisable for the board to proceed with the series of strategic action. The board should facilitate the series of open dialogue with the board directors to understand their specific concern and to collaborate, explore potential compromise or alternative solution that may address. Additionally, the board should consider offering professional development opportunities that align with the new structure to ensure that the Baijang and Murad feel their career trajectories and personal goals can still be met with the changes. Ethical issues. If the board insists on the changes being made, professional competence and due care, the restructuring should not affect the quality of service we provide to our clients, nor should it compromise our professional competence. The board decision on restructuring must be made with the conscious effort to maintain, if not enhance, or high service standards uphold. Integrity. The board must ensure that the restructuring process is transparent, honest, and fair. This includes addressing the concern of Baijang and Murad and sincerely and ensuring that any changes made are genuine in the best interest of the company. Confidentiality. The board must handle all sensitive information disclosed during the restructuring process with utmost care. This is particularly relevant when discussing potential resistance, as it involves personal and professional details that must be kept confidential. Objectivity is important for the board to assess the proposed changes impartially and without bias. Objective ensures a balanced consideration of all arguments, both for the against and restructuring, allowing for a decision that is fair and just for all parties, including Baijang and Murad. Professional behavior. The board should be consistent with the laws, regulations, and expectation of the professional behavior. This includes being mindful for how the restructuring and our approach to resistance and could affect safehold reputation. Fairness and respect. Treating every individual impact by restructuring with fairness and respect is paramount. This principle is particularly relevant when considering the potential resistance from Baijang and IDIN, as it requires the board to carefully consider their perspective and ensure their contribution are acknowledged. In line with the principle of fairness, the board must consider the equitable treatment of all directors and employees. This involves ensuring that the process does not unduly favor or disadvantage any party, and that the contribution of Baijang and Murad are recognized and rewarded appropriately. Demonstrating respect for the director's achievement, experience, and personal ambition is essential. Any change imposed against their will must be approached with sensitivity and a clear justification that align with the company's strategic direction and ethical standards. The board should initiate open and ethical discussion with Baijang Murad, understand their concern, restructuring, and to explore their willingness to enhance the proposed change. Ensure transparency in the decision making by clearly communicating the rationale behind the restructuring, how it aligns with the strategic objective, and addressing any microeconomics and misinformation. In the event of resistance, explore all options to address concern, including alternative roles or responsibilities that will be more aligned with the director's personal and the career aspirations. Nobody can write this much, but इसमें कोई technical write-up है ही नहीं. Bhai, Abhi, where you are working and there are some changes happening in the company, your position is getting affected. You have all the right to say. You will be saying, but not that you are correct and the other person are wrong, or they are correct and you are wrong. A negotiation need to be done. Logic need to be given for your facts, for their facts. What are the options by which we can manage the things? That need to be done in every organization. Ethics या कोई भी चीज है, कोई भी क्वेश्चन, any question is there, how we need to write. Normally, as I said, up till now, what was our objective? You get the knowledge of some different technical areas. You start doing the research, even though you don't know the thing. You start writing the answers in the given time frame, which will be allowed in the exam. You will not be taking extra time. You will not be copy pasting anything from somewhere. Maybe you are doing research, but you will be writing in your language. And once you submit, I will check, I will guide, I will help for improvement. And at the same time, you need to read at least model answer, maybe not others. At least the model answer you need to read properly for improvement purpose. That same thing we will continue with the new pre-scene material which is released by the CIMA Institute. Whatever we have done in the 4 papers, that we are going to continue. But at least now, for next 1 month, till the 10th of November, when we are not doing the mock papers, we are discussing different areas. Still, if we maintain that based on the current case study, that whatever I am saying, you will follow that, then there is nobody in the world which can say that you cannot pass this exam. Easily you can pass. No tension at all. अमित जी सुनते नहीं है इसीलिए गड़बड़ होता है सर. आंसर लिख रहे हैं, देख देख के कहीं से लिख रहे हैं, सबमिट कर रहे हैं, तो क्या किया जाएगा सर? अपना औकात के अनुसार लिखना होगा. हर बार whenever you are writing the answer, you need to think you are in the exam hall. And when you have submitted, the marks, guidelines are given to you. Model answer कौन पढ़ेगा? खाली एग्जाम के दिन थोड़ी ना पढ़ेंगे. You need to read the model answer carefully for improvement so that next time you can write a better answer. Fail हो ही नहीं सकता आदमी, कैसे fail होएगा? You can't fail. Fail होने के लिए दम चाहिए. My language is that only. Always remain this. In Indian courses, CA, CMA, group structure, 4, 5, 8 subjects, you are focusing on one gets left and all that. That happen. यहाँ तो वैसा नहीं है. It's focused study, flexible study. Just need to follow the steps which is required for passing the exam. Then in that case, the problem will not be there. I want to move to discuss the pre-scene material of CIMA. I will discuss in short. I am not reading anything. I am discussing from my own reading. And then I will discuss, you can say, what are the types of questions from different areas they are going to give. Then after the class, I will be giving you some more write-up which CIMA Institute and Kaplan has shared. I need to make it properly because that way it cannot be given. It need to be restructured again. I will be giving you that write-up. And at the same time, I will be giving you one more mock paper. For that, you don't need to submit the answer on Saturday. No tension. Because you can submit, I will give proper time. Again, you will do research. Again, you will do write in your language, not book, chat GPT or any language. And then once the time for submission is over, I will share the model answer. And then we will discuss that in the class. I will be giving core area A, B both with a time frame. Because as per CIMA, they are saying that there are 5 core areas. So those 5 core areas we are going to complete in coming 1 month. A, B, C, D, E. That is our target, as I discussed in the beginning also. Again repeating, core area A, B, C, D, E we need to complete by 10th of November. So that in 1 month all the core area done, we can focus on mock papers from 11th November onwards. So I will be sharing with you some extra write-up on the pre-scene. And I will be sharing the 2 mock papers A and B with a time frame when you need to submit the answers. And when the time frame is over, I will share the model answer given by the institute. And you will write your answer, submit, I will check, I will evaluate, and you will read the model answers. You will work better, you will improve better on next write-up. So still if it is done on the other 2 case studies, still the opportunity is there to be serious and to follow the instructions going forward for coming 40-45 days. And for the timing focusing say CIMA exam. Uske baad by 28th November, we will finish off CIMA, we will start with ACCA with their pre-scene. अभी तो है नहीं, अभी तो आपके लिए ही बटे. If somebody will say that I am ACCA, I will do the ACCA past term papers. You do, it's upon you. I don't have a problem. आपको ACCA का करना है, आप करिए, but आपके पास pre-scene नहीं है. You don't have pre-scene material. That pre-scene material will be released on 20 or 21st of November. Then only you will get the pre-scene as a ACCA student. Then only you can prepare based on that. So if we do this pre-scene as per me, I have seen in last 5-6 years, since the case study exam in ACCA is happening, students are performing very well when they are doing the CIMA case study pre-scene materials properly, because they are already ready for the exam. Just that they need to go through with their pre-scene. And as we were discussing in the beginning also, no further research about the industry is required. It is just a waste of time according to me, not required. Don't go into that part कि आप study करने जाएंगे और because lithium का study आप करते रहिए, it will never finish. Like in this case study also, The security company, कितना इस research करेंगे? How much research we will do? If anybody has anything to ask. क्या भाई? अभी से ही, yes.
This mock you will be sharing, right? Answers, model answers.
By 2 o'clock, sir.
By 2 o'clock.
Answers, so I've already shared these answers. 5, 6 days back.
I saw only that feedback. I didn't see that answer. Let me check it. Sir.
Not today.
Hmm.
It's 5 days back when I said you need to submit by that time.
Okay, let me check it. Might be
Yes,
I-
1 second.
Yeah.
Because I know you have not read. I know Adnan has not read. ACCA SBL. When the time to submit the answers is over, then I share the model answers in the beginning only. क्या हुआ इसको क्यों नहीं ले रहे यार? Answers ACCA SBL CIMA SCS model answer mock D, October 5th. On October 5th, the answer was shared because that was the time. By that time, you all need to write the answers. And in your mail ID, Raghavendra. Raghavendra, you see, sir. It is already shared with all of you on 5th of October.
Yeah, okay. Sir.
Because I will check and give review in some time. But why to affect your preparation? So I should be sharing with all of you anyhow, na? Maybe I have checked yesterday. But how can I delay in sharing the model answers? Similarly, whatever question I will be giving today on the basis of this pre-scene, I will share the answer as per the schedule. When I said that, suppose you need to submit by Monday, suppose by Tuesday, I will share the answer on Tuesday only. But the feedback, you will take time. I will check and then I will give you feedback. And I will check definitely 100%. Because according to me, that is most important part. What you are writing, how much marks you are getting, where you need to improve. I need to see so that I can say in the class. That is very important. So the CIMA pre-scene. A basic understanding and discussion about the pre-scene. The pre-scene, those who have not studied, those who have not gone through the pre-scene, I'm just saying summary about the pre-scene. So they have said that this is a company named as Rotomine. The company is quoted. The country name is Barland or something, or maybe whatever, because the names are very confusing. Always, those countries are not there in the world. And the company produces lithium. That lithium is used in battery manufacturing, in different types of industries. In the beginning, they have said something about the industry, that how the lithium industry operates. So they have said that lithium is, presented by a short form Li, lithium carbonates, which is, you can say, we extract from mines. And then that is used in making batteries, basically the electric car batteries, which is the recent development of usage of lithium. Then it is old traditional usage are relating to manufacturing glass and ceramics. That is heat resistant glass and ceramics. Maybe you are using windows in your house. Those are heat resistant. So in those manufacturing, those purpose, the lithium is required. It is used in even pharmaceutical and rubber business also, even tire manufacturing and in what I should say, pharmaceutical for making drugs also, lithium is used. Now, Raghavendra, we cannot go into where in the tire lithium is used. We cannot go into in which medicine composition the lithium is used. Not required, man. Maybe you can do this research, but this much is enough. Even though you may be working in this company, you will not be knowing that exactly where, how it is used, because that's the job of the engineers. That's not our job, sir. It is used in manufacturing car batteries for electric vehicles, which is the recent development. Recent means not yesterday, for quite 3-4 years, 5 years. It is used in glass and ceramic heat resistance manufacturing product. It is used in different types of lubricants, and it is used in pharmaceutical and rubber industry. The old usage were glass and all this, but then the recent development is in medicine, the recent development mainly in electric vehicles. That is the reason that the electric vehicle in the world are developing. In India also, electric vehicle prices are greater than the normal vehicle prices, but the demand for electric vehicles are continuously increasing, and in the world also. Basically, for electric vehicles, the charging is a problem. Like for petrol stations are there. So when the proper infrastructure for charging will be there, then in that case, electric vehicle will be rolling in the market. And every electric vehicle requires use of lithium because the battery requires. For that reason, they have said that in the pre-scene, the company is selling their 22% of the total revenue to one car manufacturing company. The one major customer is giving the company 22% of the revenue. So the lithium demand has gone up maybe in future by the development of sodium. You must have heard Mr. Nitin Gadkari, some of his videos and all that, if you have heard. Gobar se gas nikalenge and all that. So many things he says. He is a very, a different type of person. And he always say about different types of developments possible for running car, machines and all that. So that you can see, first of all, they have mentioned about usage of lithium. Lithium ka usage kya hai? Now, they have said in the pre-scene material that why the lithium demand recently has gone up. Because of the electric vehicle usage, because of the energy which can be consumed in a small area by lithium, which cannot be consumed in any other way. And it is forecasted that if this way the electric vehicle growth and all that will be there, then there will be a huge demand for lithium by 2030. They have said that this industry is very growing and the demand for lithium is going to grow up. So when we are in this business, this industry, it's very good that the industry is having double-digit growth. After Corona, there is a huge growth and it is going to continue till 2030. Unless and until some substitute developed, that's other thing. Since lithium is a mining product, we need to mine it. So the job of this rotomine company or any lithium company is basically doing mining activity. But the lithium extraction is very, very adverse to the environment. Usage of water, affecting the habitat, usage of so much big area for manufacture, for mining. So it's not a good, I mean to say, good process for human beings. For the environment, emission norms, usage of quintals and quintals of water, and so much big area, adverse effect on the habitat and all that, that's the problem with the lithium production. So many governments don't allow for mining for lithium. And when they don't allow, it is very difficult to find out the areas where the lithium storage are there. First of all, that's a problem. And when you find out, still you will not get the approval from government to produce lithium. So it's something which you can say that a type of extinct mining product. Extinct means it has not removed. It is not that it is not there. But identifying that in this area, lithium will be there, first of all, is a big issue. And then, if it is there, extracting that in any form is a very, very cumbersome process, which is not cordial for the environment. That is, they have said in the entire pre-scene. That means the sustainability, environment, CSR, effect from the government, those things are very common that it will be coming in the exam. Because the extraction of lithium is a very, very bad environmental process. They have said that there are 3 ways by which lithium can be extracted. One is hard rock mining. The second is the traditional brine method. And the third is the recent development, which is very good, but which is very costly, direct extraction method. Hard rock mining, the place where lithium are there, you will take the big, what do you say, rocks, bring them up, and then you will pour them, you will make a powder of that, and then by using water and all that, you will be producing lithium. Raghavendra, this much knowledge is enough, sir. Now we are not going in a lithium plant and we'll see how the rocks are taken off. That's not possible, sir.
Okay.
Even though you are seeing video, then also it's limited knowledge, sir. Because we are not technical person. We cannot produce lithium. We don't have that knowledge and we are not going into that area. We are finance accounting person. Whatever the engineers are doing, costing that, selling that, attract customers, finding whether the other usage are there, that is not our job. Our job is to basically understand what the business is. Even though if we do further research, we will not be getting anything that way. So the doing further research will be just waste of time. Hard rock, yes. The word itself is saying hard rock mining. In the mine, in the beneath, there are rocks which contain lithium. Those rocks are taken up and then they are converted with the drilling and all that into powder. And then with the use of water, they are converted into lithium. Lithium is a type of gas, extraction of gas. Suppose we are making food inside. In the cooker, pressure cooker or anything, evaporation is I mean to say that this is not our cup of tea. We go into deep of this. Simple rock से lithium निकालना है, gas है, by use of water, powder and all that, by doing the drilling process, that is done. But since it is using so much big area, drilling, so much waste of water because that water is contaminated. Now it cannot be used. Throwing the water in a proper way and it is not contaminated with other water is very important because water is a big issue in many countries. In India, it is not that much but in many countries. I remember I went in South Africa in around 2013-14. And then later on, I found in South Africa, they don't have water for drinking. Presently, but earlier it came. We cannot drink water of sea, we know. We require drinking water. And that's a problem in so many countries. So when we do hard rock mining, it is utilization of so much water. It is creating the usage of drilling machines and all that create emissions. It is affecting the natural habitat there, human beings and others. That's not good. The government generally don't allow that you will be doing hard rock mining in many places, in many countries. The traditional brine mining, you will go in lake and beneath the water, you will be bringing the lithium gas by processes on top. That is even more environmentally bad because it is using more water and it may contaminate the natural drinking water also. And this process, that is the brine mining, they are saying that will take 18 months to get the lithium gas. So it's a very time-consuming process also. But this traditional brine mining is actually the traditional method for generating lithium. And we have also in our company, Rotomine, we have most of the facilities by which we are generating lithium is like traditional mining only, because hard rock mining we have 3 and traditional brine mining we have 6 locations. In total 9 locations we are generating lithium, and we don't have any direct extraction system as on. In the direct extraction system, first of all you need to find out where the lithium is available. But in the direct extraction system, the usage of the place, the carbon emissions, the water usage to generate lithium will be very less. But it is very, very costly. And recently they have given in the pre-scene, the performance financial sales price has gone down, the lithium prices are going down, and the cost will increase by direct lithium extraction is not viable for the time being. Unless and until going forward, the new method developed, the new method will minimize the cost of extraction by direct extraction method, then may be viable. It is written in the pre-scene Rotomine, going forward, is not going to installing any further mining activity to generate further lithium. They are not going. Whatever they have, they will continue. They are not going to generate further lithium production plant going forward. Abhi, recently. If you go the figure wise, which I have given in my analysis, also written in the pre-scene also, specifically it is said that for hard rock mining, if you do, there will be CO2 emissions of around 15,000 kg per ton of lithium generated. 15,000 kg emission will be happening. There will be 170,000 liters of water need to be used per ton of lithium generation in hard rock. And there is a land usage of 460 square meter for per ton of lithium generation. The focus is on emission, water usage, land usage. If it is brine mine, from the lake you are generating lithium, then the emission is slightly lower. In place of 15,000, it is 5,000. As far as water usage, it is very high. 5 lakh liter per ton of lithium generation in place of 1,70,000 in that case. But the area usage in place of 460, it will be 3,200 square meter of area for per ton of lithium generation. In the direct extraction, if we go in the direct extraction, the C0 emission depends upon what? The C0 emission depends upon what type of energy resources you will be using for direct extraction. You will not find in Google or anywhere the proper explanation written for what will be the emission. But the water usage is very less, only 3,000 liters in place of 1,70,000 and 5 lakh only. That means it is environment friendly. And the area required 1 square meter for generating 1 ton. And there it is 460 and 3,200 square meter. So this method is best suited, but all the lithium production organization in the world, Not a single one is using this method, not a single organization. And our organization, Rotomine, is also not using this method because it is very costly and the realization by selling lithium will be lesser than this. So it is not a viable option for the time being. Going forward, when this method will be further research and development done, how can we reduce the cost? Then only it will become a viable option. Otherwise, presently, it is not a viable option. We can say that, first of all, when the lithium is produced, it is called lithium carbonate. And then lithium carbonate is further processed into lithium hydroxide, or I will say that lithium hydroxide is used for making batteries for car. And there are other types of products which can be manufactured from the lithium carbonate. Lithium carbonate is a mined product. Now the lithium carbonate is further processed into lithium sodium, that is hydroxide, which is used for battery production. Then there is some bitumen, they have said, which can be used for, what do you say, airplane, or there may be some further development which can be used for rubber and medicine development. The industry is very dynamic. In the industry, there are 4 players who are controlling more than 50% of the market. Normally in the industry, new entrants tension is not there. Finding the lithium storage is difficult task. Getting the approval for government for lithium mining is even a bigger task. So the competition from new players will not be there. But the existing players, it's a type of oligopoly market. The 4 players are controlling more than 50% market share. So between the 4 players selling the lithium, getting the customers is always a big fight. The new entrants are not there, but the fight between the existing players is very high. And all are focusing on getting the customers, improving the production process, doing the R&D, minimizing the cost of extraction, because when you see the financials of our company and the competitor, the revenue has gone down, cost has gone up. So it is very challenging that we need to minimize our cost, be operational efficient, think about R&D so that we can minimize cost and grow our business. So it's a business where we can see growth is there, double digit, but the prices are under control. Government regulations are there. And regularly, if something happened with the staff or anything in the mining activity, the regulatory authorities, the influencing authorities are there, which will be affecting you. Mostly the lithium production is done in automated way, generally. The involvement of staffs would be minimum wherever the danger is there. But we cannot say that it can be done without staff. But as much as automation is there, where the staff involvement is less, the contamination is less, the less utilization of resources, efficiency, that's a never-ending process. This is a business where these things will remain forever. And the organization, those who are there, since they are already fighting for getting the clients, the production capacity is there. So normally these organizations are not going to install new facility because finding lithium reserve and getting the approval from government is even a daunting task. So normally the further increment in the capacity are not there. Maybe small players, because balance 50% is small players. They are developing lithium production. I have heard Mr. Nitin Gadkari has said one day that yahan lithium bharti hai, we can extract and we can earn so much. I heard his video, saw his video. In India maybe hai, lekin kaun usko nikale? There are so much problems are there. So it's a business where when you are established, you can run. But then the lithium prices are dependent on, like commodity prices hota, it is in the market commodity pricing. Demand, supply, suppliers, then government regulations, so many things are there relating to regulation of prices. And we have our team in Rotomine for managing the prices, for managing the operations and everything. Then this is, they have written in the beginning, who are you? You are the senior finance manager, the company following IFRS. You will help to the board members and you will control the junior persons. We will help in the management, accounting, and finance matter. Then they said about the industry, what is lithium, where it is used, how it is extracted, what is the problems or benefits of different types of extraction processes, who are the players, what they are doing, what are the different uses of the lithium. That they have said in the beginning in 3, 4, 5 pages about the introduction of the industry. And then they started talking about the company, the Rotomine. The company established in 1950, one of the oldest, so around 75 years old company. And it is listed in the stock exchange of the country in 1972. So it is listed for more than 50 years. The price movement is given in a chart in last 21 to 25. What is the movement in the prices, up, down, and all that? The beta factor is also given. The financial statement of the company and one of the competitor financial statement is given. The company has grown in the last 75 years quite significantly. They have operations, that is, as I said, the 3 hard rock and 6 brine mine factories, mining activities, where they are generating lithium. And then in the side by factory only, in all the 9 plants, beside the mine, they have the processing factory, also manufacturing factory, where the lithium carbonate is converted into the other products for selling to the customer. So they have the plant mining and the processing factory side by side at all 9 places. Not only Rotomine, but any company finding the viable mines, getting the approval from the government, getting the quality of lithium, then converting into other processes without contaminating water and without affecting the environment adversely. That's a challenge to our company Rotomine also and others also. And regularly we face political problems, influencer problems and all that about the lithium. If you go on Google search or YouTube, Bharti Karki video, I have not given that. So many problems are mentioned by so many authorities relating to lithium production. But then its advantage is fossil fuel consumption in the transport will be reduced, because fossil fuel is also adverse against environment. So when the pollution level will be low, like Delhi and all that, even in Kolkata also, so much air pollution is there. We are not like US, where the pollution level, EQI level is sometime 5 and 10. We have 300, 400, 500 types. हम लोग तो ऐसे ही मर जाएंगे because of the use of the oil in the transport. So electric car, battery, not creating pollutions. But then the lithium is creating pollutions. The production of lithium. So it's, you can say, these things they have not written in the pre-scene, that what is the advantage of lithium when we are using electric car, because that is advantage also. We need to do pros cons analysis to get the approval from the government for the lithium production. The company has head office in the central place. Along with the head office, there is a management office also. From the head office, all the inventory management, production system are controlled. And the management is taking all the decisions relating to marketing, relating to engagement of R&D, relating to production methods, processes, technologies. It's, you can say, centralization process in the company for managing the operations, for managing the corporate matters. Innovation and research, they are doing good research. They are famous for the research. And they have a contract with a university for doing the research about lithium production, about minimizing cost, about adverse environment, about having connection with the customers, for developing new different methods of lithium usages, because there are different things going to come in the market. So those things for that. And how can the safety, health and other things can be maintained of the staff and other with the research institute, with the university. We are giving them the, to the university students, internship training, taking their help, giving them the help, involving in our plant production, so that we can help to the mankind. That R&D facility we have. The products which we are offering, or one is hydroxide, which is 45% of our total revenue. Whatever the revenue of the company, 45% by selling lithium hydroxide for battery manufacturing for electric car. And in that, only one single client is giving 22% of the total revenue. We have lithium, what do you say, other grade also, which are for manufacturing that glass also, glass and ceramics, that is giving us 26% of the total revenue. We have bitumen also, which is used in pharmaceutical products, and for the alloy, which is used in airline, that also we are producing, but that is very small proportion. The major revenue is coming from glass product, from car, that what we say, for vehicle manufacturing hydroxide, and for manufacture of, what do you say, pharmaceutical products. That is our major revenue. But for the airline manufacturing, for their batteries and all that, there is a new development done. Some revenue we are getting from them. But then other options for developing other different types of products are there. As far as operational are concerned, as we said, the operations are more and more autonomous. Where the risk is there, employees are not engaged, because we have done so much research and the employees' engagement in the difficult areas are very less. So normally the problems with the employee health, safety, but lithium is in itself, the entire process is not good for natural habitat, for water and all that. So those problems are there, but all the risky operations are autonomous. And we are always looking at more and more autonomous thing, more and more R&D we are doing, so that we can improve the process and we can reduce the cost. As far as, what do you say, as I said, the global market is dominated by 4 players. We are one of the major players. And in the country where we are located, we are the leader. We are having business in 90 countries. We are selling lithium in 90 countries. We are having the manufacturing facility in 9 locations. Out of the 9 locations, 2 locations are not good. There the political and the uncertainties are there, like the question which we did in the previous case study. Similarly, they have said out of the 9 locations, 2 locations, the political uncertainty, this, that, the economical condition, the production process, all problems are there. Maybe on those 2 areas, we should stop our operations. Question can come. As far as if we go in the financial statement, we will find that financial statement. When we go in financial statement, one second.